A court of fairies and fiction. Akafath Girls Podcast. Hosts Nell and Liv. Episode 15, Hidden Siblings, Wedding Rings, and Other Things.
Elain's gonna have a big hand in Hofas. I don't know why.
Now, are you just saying that because of the picture she put online and the sweatshirt she was wearing?
No, I actually forgot about that. But I'm gonna piss people off. I'm gonna piss off the Elain girls again.
But I don't know if you
Stop
do it.
saying the fucking sweatshirt is about Elain. The first point of view in Hofas is Lydia. She's a deer shifter. That was that. I'm more concerned. I'm not even concerned about the fucking shirt. I'm more concerned about her tattoos on her hands, but I'm not going to go there. But when they talk about the worlds, the biggest thing that sticks out to me was the scene with Gwen when she was talking about what Meryl knows. Because she says that the theory that Meryl has is that all of the worlds are stacked on top of each other, parallel, but separated by time. So that's what I took as the truth. And everyone kind of skates over that scene. And I'm like, she's telling you what she's doing. She's telling you what it is. And everyone's like, they're on the same timeline. It's fine. And I'm like, they're not on the same timeline. They said they're separated by time. Bryce falls through the thing. She's like, time slowed to a glacial drip. We have her being pulled sideways. We have her saying that the clothes in ACOTAR are old-fashioned. Like, they're not on the same timeline. The worlds might be running parallel at the same time, but not the same time, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying. And I'm curious by it because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be disappointed no matter what the answer is going to be, because
either way, a couple people are going to be maimed.
Yeah. Like, there's a part of me that I want them to all be going at the same time because I want to see an interaction between all of my favorite characters. That's what I want to see.
Well, so here's the thing. In Crescent City, we have the gates, right?
Right.
In Tog, we have the gates, right?
Right.
No mention of gates in ACOTAR.
No
mention of gates. Again, not going to get into it, but I think Tamlin knows about the gates.
I totally think he does. And that's why I'm like,
I think he knows about the gates, and I think Nesta now kind of has an idea about the gates.
Yeah. Well, I think that we at least know there's a couple gates under the mountains, right? Because
maybe. There's one on Ramiel, and we think that there's one in the Spring Court. So that would be the northern and southern rifts, as we were explaining before. If there's one under the mountain, there is no longer, because there is no more under the mountain. Tamlin destroyed it. Let me remind everybody. Tamlin was the one who destroyed it.
He did.
He crumbled the whole fucking mountain with a wave of his hand. And people are like, oh, he's just a shapeshifter. Bro, he crumbled a fucking mountain with a wave of his hand. He jumped farther than any fae should be able to jump. Like, boy's got secrets. Like, I know the Night Court has a shit ton of secrets, but Tam's got a lot of secrets too.
Yeah, he does. He totally does have secrets. And that's why, like, I also feel like Cassian might have a secret that we don't know about, because it's bizarre to me that we have these, like, powers that Rhys has, you know, and then we have these powers that Azrael has, but, like, Cassian's kind of just like, hey, I'm your really loyal, awesome soldier, general, commander, whatever.
He's just Cassian, okay?
Yeah. No, I hate that, and you know that I hate that, because he's not just Cassian. Take it back. He's way more than just that. But, you know, and honestly, like, she needs to rewrite how she wronged him in Silver Flames. I'm sorry. That's not the Cassian that I know.
I know.
Okay?
He was awful.
What happens to her?
Carbon cut out of Rhys.
That's what I'm saying, though. But, like, what happens to her when she takes So like you have your peripheral awesome male characters, and then she's like, I'm gonna take you and like put the spotlight on you, and then it's like, but we're gonna
Twist
ruin
you.
you and like
I'm gonna make you into Reese. I'm gonna make everyone into Reese. see, here's the thing, because you say all the time that she's a good actress and you think that she's snowing everyone.
I think
So,
she's snowing.
do you think that her dramatic changes of a lot of the characters when it comes to Reese is her planning on coming out to say, like, yeah, Reese has been mind manipulating Prithian for however many years, and joke's on you, like, he's a descendant of Maeve and he's doing what Maeve did? Because Maeve, do you know Maeve's whole story?
No, I don't know Maeve's whole story.
I don't know. I know
bits
some.
and pieces.
So apparently, which I found very interesting because I looked it up the other day, and then we'll get back to Cassian, but really quick. So there were two sisters, as far as I know, that one of them, I guess, was going to become a queen or something. So basically, she twisted everyone's mind in, I don't know if it was Terrasin or Aurelio, whatever it was. She twisted everyone's mind to make them believe that she was the third sister and that she became the queen. So everyone is convinced that they're three sisters. It's Maeve, it's Mab, and it's, I forget the other one's name. But she convinced the entire world that she was the third sister and that there's always been three sisters. But there hasn't been. It was only two sisters.
Stop it right now. Is that really part of the storyline?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. She convinced everyone that she was always their sister, so that she would be able to take over. And she was basically like Amarantha, like, I'm your queen now. You're going to listen to me. You're going to do a blood oath to me. And you're going to do this and you're going to do that. She was like an Amarantha, but with Reese's mind powers. So she used her mind powers to literally make everybody believe that she was these two girls' sister. And that there was always three sisters.
But then what happened to the other two?
I don't know the storyline, but
we don't know the storyline yet. Did you see that TikTok where someone, which I don't think that this is going to be the case, that someone said that Maeve and Reese are the same exact person? Did you see that?
Like, yeah, I think I did. Like Dorian, how he can shift into female form. And you no way.
But even for me, I'm like, that's a crackpot theory right there. Like,
yeah, even for me, like that's
not gonna happen.
I don't think Pharaoh would take too kindly to being me.
I don't think so. Yeah, I honestly think that, like, if anything, we'll find out that Maeve is like
his grandmother. I think Maeve was his grandmother. I
was gonna say there for a minute, like, what if Maeve was like his sister? But then I was like, there's no way.
No, because no. Unless we are getting it wrong and Akatar is the first world.
I know. I was just thinking that.
The second world.
I just thought that. I was just thinking that.
And that's why Aelin fell back in time instead of forward in time? I don't know. Because Bryce fell back in time because, again, time slowed to a glacial drip. Right. We have to read the scene where Aelin falls through and see if it's the same thing.
Yeah, we do. We're like working on it.
Imagine Tog is the middle world. Oh.
I don't know.
Because that way, we're going to get back to Cassian. That way, Lydia could be a direct descendant of Rowan and Aelin, or their daughter.
Yes! And wait a second. I haven't read Aelin's lineage yet, but like, could we maybe see Tamlin somewhere in like Rowan's line or in Aelin's line? Like, I don't know. Or like Rowan apparently has a sister, which I don't know anything about.
Well,
Rowan's a shapeshifter. Granted, it's not like a deer or a stag, but
yeah.
apparently there's a Lord of the North. I don't
I'm
know.
just
I don't know.
thinking, so the sacrificial stag in Akatar for Callan May always gets me. Because I'm like,
In what way, though? In
because
what
if
way?
that's the Lord of the North, and I think the whole lore is like he'll always be there to lead you back to Terrasen. Like, is Terrasen the old Prithian after it was burned to ash?
Oh my God. Are you saying is Terrasen the spring court after Tamlin burns it?
No, after
And
who the fuck burned the Valg, right? After like
yeah.
the Valg burn it.
Oh.
It is this the war? Like, is this what happens? Like the future comes back and destroys whatever that becomes the Tog world, which then continues on to become Crescent City again, and then history repeats itself over and over. I don't know, like a time
Kind of
like a time
it's
loop.
like I kind of like it. Like I kind of like it if it were a time loop. However, how sad would it be? And like I said, have not read Morph Talk. If like Tamlin ends up being the stag, like if the timeline is
If he's the Lord of the North.
If like Akatar is the first, and then it's Tog, and then it's Crescent City, like could Tamlin be the sacrificial stag? How
Can you imagine if? So I know I say all the time that I think like Nyx and Tamlin's daughter would be mated, and that would be hilarious. But can you imagine if it was actually Tamlin's child and Lucian's child? And then we have Aelin. Fire magic and
yeah, I was just
I don't know.
I don't know.
We have to read about our parents. But anyway, back to Cassie.
There's so much.
There's so much. But so going back to the whole well, basically him dying and everyone think Hunt's gonna die. And like Rhys and Azrael maybe being Valgar, the princess of whatever. So I do think Cassian's the outlier, but you said that you think he's kind of special. I personally think that he is the reincarnation of an Alias, the first Illyrian.
Now, explain that to other people who don't know. Or nice, I love it.
Oh, I had a little note here that I just want to touch on real quick. It was like a little tiny thing I said.
Yeah.
I said another reason that Cassian would be a target is because enemies would want to take out the leader of the biggest army of their enemies.
You know what I'm thinking here, though?
Yeah.
Can I just add a little something? Yeah. Since we all are saying that like Cassian's not special, Cassian can't hold secrets, blah blah blah. Like, how freaking cool would it be if Cassian was actually like, yo, I have this whole secret hell army that I've been training and you guys have no idea about it? How fucking cool would that be? Like, he's literally in charge.
You know what I think the better twist would be? That I actually like just thought of right now. Can you imagine if the people under the mountain are the old Valkyries?
Wait,
like what? His old like maid,
yeah,
like
the girl, his girlfriend,
like Tanwyn and whatever. And can you imagine like if he like knew that it was them and like was planning something with them? I don't know. I feel like that would be cool because then okay, so what if he didn't tell anyone that she was his mate once? And going back to the whole, I know it was really a Tog interview where SJM said, oh, well, two mates could be a thing. I know it was a Tog interview. But going back to that, like, what if, like, I don't know, what if they come back and, like, Tanwyn was actually his mate and Nesta isn't?
That'd be so fucked up, though. Like,
can you imagine, though?
Why would she? why would she do that though? Like, there's no point to it. I don't know. Like,
because I feel like, again, like secret agenda. Like I feel like he could be working with some literally underground network. I don't know. That just popped in my head, but
no, I like it. I like it because she says in Flame and Shadow there's going to be a great betrayal. Like one, didn't she say that one that no one's going to see coming?
And I don't know. I feel like everyone is guessing more in Amryn. I feel like that's too easy. That's why I always guess Rhys. But, and I mean, I don't think it's Azriel just for the whole reason that she loves Az and she's like, oh, he's so kinky and I'm going to write his book and his journey is going to be so much fun to write. But if his journey is breaking off from the Night Court,
oh my gosh. I'm like,
I don't know.
You know what's so funny is I'm like not excited. I'm nervous.
I don't know. I still feel like the best betrayal would be Rhys, but that's me.
I think it would be the craziest betrayal. And I mean, like we talked about like there's been weird stuff. Oh, I want to read this to you. Did we talk about this last time? I found this quote because I was rereading Akamath.
Yeah.
Real quick, and then we're getting back to Cassian.
Can you imagine if the betrayal was Tamlin? Because he knows all about the gates and shit.
I would wait a second. I would freaking love that. You've just like sucked me back in. Can we just talk about that? Oh my god, I would die for a legit Tamlin villain.
Skirted the fuck over him in the interview. I don't know.
Walk me through this. Like, what could Tamlin do? Like, I want to hear.
I mean, he's pissed, right? Like, everyone's threatening his life. He's fucking pissed. Like, he has nothing left to lose. He has nothing left to lose.
No.
His whole court is in summer. Or whatever was left of his court was in summer. His lands are dead. His manor is in shambles. He has nothing left.
Okay. I love this.
Can you imagine if like that's how he gets turned into the stag?
I would kind of love it. If you know what, if everyone's gonna hate Tamlin so much, then I want to see a real
full villain.
I want him to just fucking rage.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw. Did you see the reels that I posted the other day?
No,
about Tamlin and Briar.
No.
I said that even though I want them to have like a really cute like mate arc or whatever, I would also totally be down for her having like awful evil magic from the cauldron and him and her just like instead of leaning away from it like Nesta leaning into it and then Tamlin just like leaning into his beast and both of them just being like these wild beastly fucking villains that just don't give a shit anymore. Because Briar lost her entire fucking family, all the children of the blessed. Tamlin lost his entire fucking friend group, his court, everything. And if they were mates, I feel like they would just perfectly balance each other's fucking anger. And they could be the perfect villains.
Okay. Do you want to know something? I've been sitting over here, mourning, pouting, lamenting Tamlin's storyline, thinking about how he's going to get the shit end of the stick. Okay, and look at me, listen to me. What if the betrayal, what if we're all like Night Court focused? It's going to be the inner circle. Dude, it's not the fucking inner circle. It's someone we don't even expect. If it was fucking Tamlin on Prithian, I would be like so here for it.
I would still root for him.
I would still root for Tamlin. I'd be like, destroy.
When everyone's like, he's so awful, he's disgusting, he's the worst person. You fucking wanted him to be a villain.
Yes. Okay,
there you
go. Also, how cool would it be to see a beast form Tamlin just like hulked out and there's like just like fire everywhere around him and he's just like looking around with his green eye. I'd lose my shit.
Okay.
I'd lose it.
So you know how so Nesta pointed at him, right? And was like, if you tell anyone about this meeting, like it'll be your head next or whatever. And he was like, put that finger down, witch.
Tamlin. Excuse
Put that
me, sir.
finger down, witch. And he was in his beast form. Like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast. Beauty is fucking Briar.
Put that finger down, witch. Like, so is he saying like Ness is the enchantress? Like, it's like, I mean, I know we're not really like tight on the storyline here, but
no, I still think Farah's kind of the metaphorical enchantress.
yeah, she is.
But I mean, she did do a whole twist on the whole Beauty and the Beast thing in the first place anyway. So why not do more twists? Just like he still ended in his beast form.
He did. He's in his beast form.
I mean, well, yeah. Because like, well, Lucian's there too, though. Can you imagine if it was like? Can you imagine if it was like Lucian, Elain, and Tamlin and Briar? Can you imagine? Okay, Elain meeting with the older, wiser Fae. Can you imagine? That was fucking.
But what are they? Okay, what are they meeting about? Like, what is she meeting Tamlin about? That's what I want to know.
Her shape-shifting powers.
But like, how would they have gotten word to each other?
She can winnow. She can winnow. How hours does this girl spend in her fucking bedroom?
She hates Tamlin.
Excessive. No. We have never seen a scene with Elain and Tamlin. We have never.
Yes, they were.
No.
Yes, they were. They were in. Yes, they were. They were in the cauldron together. And remember, he lunged the cauldron room, and he lunged.
Yeah, but that was like right. That was before she got thrown in. But I mean, like after she was turned and everything, like an actual scene with Elain confronting him, like there's none. She wasn't at the meeting.
But that's what I'm saying is like, when would they have made contact? Like, when would they have been like, when would Tamlin have been like, hey, I see you're a shapeshifter. You know what I mean?
No, but Elain could have gone to him. We know
that she hates him.
No, she never said she hates him. She never said anything about Tamlin.
She can't hate Lucian if she, you know what I mean? Like, if
I don't think Lucian, she actually hates Lucian. See, again, the fuck did he blush at the end of the bond? This girl has fucking secrets, I'm telling you. She is acting her ass off.
You would think so, honestly.
Absolutely. She's acting her ass off. And I know that everyone's gonna be like, oh, Tamlin. I don't think it's a romantic thing. I think she's still afraid of the mate bond. But I actually saw, I know we gotta get back to Cassian, but I actually saw was it a Reddit? I think it was the same one that it was, or a Tumblr that was talking about her shapeshifting stuff, right?
We were reading that together, I think, right? No?
Yeah. So all of the quotes where she was inquiring about her magic.
Yeah.
And how she was up at the sunrise to try to train her magic, and she was leaving the house to try to train her magic, or she was up before everyone was even awake. Like, she could have gone anywhere. And when was she meeting with this older, wiser Fae that she just let slide? Like, nobody knows when she left. This girl's been holed up in her room for fucking ever. Come on.
So how fucking cool would it be if we do a flashback? This is like freshly after Cauldron scene, right? And she like just finds out she can winnow after like not freshly after Cauldron, but like she stabs Hybern and she's like, holy shit, I can winnow. Yeah. And then we see a flashback of her being like Elain at the border of the spring court.
I want to know who the fuck was training her in her powers, because the fucking inner circle didn't even do shit with her. They were way too focused on Nesta and those silver flames. Nobody even noticed she was a seer until Azrael, like middle of fucking Thor.
Yeah. They all thought she was just fucking crazy. Because they're constantly counting her out. So then, right, that would be Beauty and the Beast, because it's Elaine and Tamlin at his mansion.
But I don't think it's a romantic thing. I think it would be fucking amazing if they were like besties and like she just couldn't tell anyone.
I would love it. I would love it, but I'd be sad for Tamlin, because he's still like, he never has anything good. Like he's got a best friend in like Feyre Archeron's sister. Like fuck that. I mean, it'd be cool. It would be cool.
I don't know. I mean, Lucian's pretty tight-lipped about it too. The fact that there was just no mention of what they talked about during the scene that we don't see them talk. There's no mention of what he saw at the end of the bond.
What if he saw Elaine as a shapeshifter? What if Lucian saw it? But why would he blush at that? That's the only thing.
I don't know. I mean, I keep going back to the whole I can hear her crying. Everyone thinks she's dead. Like, she has so many fucking secrets. I've been speaking to an older, wiser fae. Like, if it's not Koshi, who else would it be? And is Koshi even fae? He's a death god. He's not even a fae.
He's not fae. And he's on the... No, he can be in multiple places. No, that's not true. Okay. I mean, an older, wiser fae, Tamlin could fit the bill. I mean, anyone could fit the bill.
For her, yeah. Like...
Yeah.
There's literally no old people except Maja.
Like, who would she...
Unless she's fucking talking to Baron, which I would not. I mean, Baron's she's fucking old as shit.
Baron's old as shit.
But no, I don't think she would be talking to Baron. He's a piece of shit.
I'm just trying to think of, like, who's an older, wiser fae.
Wiser. That's what, like, gets me.
It just, like...
And it could be from any of the worlds, too. Because...
Oh, because she's a seer. Shut the... Yes.
She's a mystic, yeah. They float through the worlds.
An older, wiser fae.
What about...
How crazy would it be if she's talking to Aelin? What if we do have the timeline backwards and it's like Tog first and she's like...
But what about... I don't know if she's evil again. I don't know a lot about Tog, but what about like Yellow Legs, like that old lady from Tog?
That old lady.
That fucking Aelin was talking to about word keys. Is she fae? Is she fae? Is she fucking fae?
She's a witch, right?
Is she a witch? Why would you say fae then? I'm annoyed.
Well, wait a second. Nest is a witch, but she's also fae.
True.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to...
Reese's mom
is a witch, but also fae.
Could be Reese's mom.
It could be Reese's mom. It could be... Who else? Who else is an older, wiser fae?
I don't know. I feel like the older, wiser fae thing and the she's crying, everyone thinks she's dead thing is the same person. I don't know why.
But see, I just keep thinking of Lauren. I only think of her.
Is she visiting Lauren? Because they're both very Spring Court coded too.
They're very, very Spring Court coded. Like, Lauren is so Spring Court coded.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I actually love your theory that she's visiting Tamlin. Like,
I always actually kind of thought that if it wasn't Koshi, which now I'm like, oh yeah, it's not Koshi. Koshi's not fae. I have to remind myself of that. But I always kind of thought if it wasn't Koshi, it would be Tamlin.
It just makes sense, right? Like, I know, but the quotes of her asking about changing your body and doing this and like very
Exactly.
suspicious.
And doesn't she say that after she asks about that? Or is it before? I don't remember
I can't remember. I don't remember. Like, so she's like waking up, turning into like a trembling fawn, and she's like, "Yo, who the heck can I talk to? There's nobody. Nobody can shapeshift. I'm literally a fawn.
Maybe
I talked to
so.
Aaron."
Maybe that's.
I'm sorry.
She's one of the few. Why do I not get this?
I know. That clicked to me. I thought about that too. Elaine's one of the few.
So what if Tamlin literally just like I don't know. Maybe he just had like some sort of connection. She's a shapeshifter?
Is she a shapeshifter?
Like a genuine shapeshifter, not
Yeah.
just like a High Lord. No.
It makes the most sense that it would be Tamlin and Elaine.
To like help her, right?
Yeah, it's just like he's teaching her how to be in control of it. I'm trying to think like why would Lucian keep saying, but like it'd be weird that like Lucian wouldn't be in on it too. I don't know.
He could be. Hello,
Right?
Sly Fox.
He's a Sly Fox, and he did tell Rhys that he's an important ally. Like maybe he's an ally because he's like training Elaine on like how to use her powers.
You're going to need Tamlin as an ally before the dust settles. Did he know that from his mate's vision? That there's going to be a big war? I feel like Elaine probably saw this happening. And she was not in the scene with Bryce. Where was she in Lucian?
She was not in the scene with
Neither
Bryce.
was Lucian.
No.
It's very sus. See, if Tamlin isn't the villain, I would actually love to see him, like, protect Nyx. I don't know why. I feel like I feel Tamlin, because I feel like that would kind of redeem him in Feyre's eye. Like I know Feyre was like, I wish you happiness, blah 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 blah. But like, I don't know. I feel like if the Lauren thing isn't true, that would kind of redeem him in not fully, because Rhys was like, I don't care if you saved my mate and all this shit, but I don't know.
My only problem with that is this, and I could see that being the redeeming storyline. He's already like protected Feyre and Rhys like over and over and
but he gets blamed for
I know
putting them in danger. I feel like he literally couldn't be blamed this time.
Like just like saving their children would open their eyes, and then they would become friends again.
Not
and then
friends, but
like forgiven.
And
civil. Then civil.
Yeah.
But then of course she would kill him off. If that happened, she would kill him. And then Elaine and Lucian would take Spring.
They can't take Spring.
But I think that you're hung up on that. I think it's wrong because the book clearly says that the magic picks the next High Lord. What if
it says the magic picks the next? It says the magic picks the next powerful person of the bloodline. And if it's not the bloodline, then it changes bloodlines.
Yes.
But Lucian does not have a Spring bloodline. He's from Autumn and Day. He doesn't have a Spring bloodline.
I don't think it has to be a Spring. It does.
That's why Tarquin's got transferred to him. He wasn't qualified to be High Lord. He was just the next powerful bloodline.
Well, then what if the bloodline, what if it chooses Elaine? What if it chooses Elaine?
But I don't think it would choose Elaine either, because Elaine is more like she's from the Cauldron. She wasn't originally Fae. So she's really not from anywhere.
But like how many times are people
and it doesn't choose a High Lady. That's the whole thing.
But isn't that the whole purpose of the series, Molly? Is that we're bringing back the High Ladies? That's the whole point of what Rhys did.
But here's my thing with that. I don't think SJM would make anyone a genuine high lady if Feyre
Bryce.
isn't. She wouldn't. Feyre was only made high lady because Rhys gave her the title. She's not tied to the land. She's not tied to the people. She would never do that with Elain because then it would take Feyre down a notch.
It would take Feyre down a notch. Bryce is gonna
like that's
Bryce
why Nesta lost her power, because God forbid she's more powerful than Feyre and Rhys.
Feyre.
So Elain would
Bryce will be the
high
first
lady.
real high lady, though. I think.
Yeah, but she's not going to stay in Prythian, so it doesn't matter.
God, how is it going to go down?
Huh?
How is this all going to go down? This is like, I cannot guess how this is possibly going to go.
I told you, like, we're going to be so let down.
I think we are. I think we are all building this up so crazily in our heads, and it's going to literally be just like...
It's just going to be a war. Like, someone from ACOTAR is going to die, and then they're all going to go back to their respective planets, and everything's going to continue. But I just kind of worry because it's not like they're just fighting like Hybern or Amarantha. Like, it's literally the world's enemies from 15,000 years ago. And I tell you, I say this all the time, but it would make no sense for Koshi to be involved in this because he's the only one from 15,000 years ago. Everyone is convinced that Koshi's not a part of this. Koshi's the next ACOTAR book. I'm like, then why would she point out 15,000 years, 15,000 years, 15,000 years? The only fucking person in ACOTAR who's 15,000 years old is Koshi. And she specifically put that in Akasith right before Carson City. And where did we leave off in Akasith? With Koshi. Again, I think Baron and Koshi are an exact, I'm going to say this again, mirror to Arobynn and Iwan and Arobynn and Farron when they got Sam killed. Because Baron at this point has nothing to lose. Like, he has 1 million sons that could take the throne. And if that's why I'm worried about Aerys, because if he fucking gets wind, any little thread of wind, that Aerys is fucking two-timing him, he's done. I'm so scared now that they're gonna Sam Cortland Aerys. And just fucking drop his corpse on the night court front stoop.
I mean, I could see it. Like, but then I also told you I could see her doing that to Azriel. I could see her, because like I can see her killing Azriel, because the whole Koshi story, Azriel ends up like cut up in pieces.
Well, as it's Koshi's descendant. I think the Death Gods were part Valg. They're part Valg. That's why Koshi has the shadows. Azriel has the shadows. That's why he wants to talk to him. That's why I think Azriel knows, because again, he's like, they know what I am at the prison. And I don't think she would ever kill Azriel off, not just because she said that she's looking forward to writing his journey and he's going to have a book or whatever, but because he literally hasn't had his arc, his POV at all, ever, yet. Well, he had like a few things here and there in Akasith, but he's in the bonus chapter of Akasith with 2 love interests. People still think Bryce is a love interest. He's in the bonus chapter of Hofas with Nesta, probably after the war. I'm thinking that their bonus chapter is after, and the other ones are like stuffed in the middle. I don't know why. I feel like their bonus chapter is like after everything happens.
Yeah.
Because again, where's Cassian?
I know.
Not in the scene with Nesta.
But like when you think about it too, there's no bonus chapters with Tamlin, Lucian, Rhys, or Feyre either.
There's a bonus chapter with Rhys and Feyre.
In Hofast?
No.
This one coming up?
No, Hofast only. So see, this is why, again, I'm fucking convinced Azriel's book is next, because the only two people from ACOTAR in a Hofast bonus chapter is Nesta and Azriel. Nesta got her book. Azriel's fucking book is next. And I have this whole thing laid out, right? So first book was red, right?
Yeah.
Red is a warm color on the color palette. Okay. Okay. Right. Mist and Fury. Bring up your books for a second so people can see what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. So I want to show you guys.
Okay.
Right.
So
I got the hardcover. So.
Yeah, that's fine. So ACOTAR is red. Akamath is teal, which is like a greenish blue, right?
Right.
Greenish blue. ACOWAR.
Hold on. My ACOWAR is missing. Oh, it's right here. Because I was reading it.
ACOWAR is pink, which is what? A lighter version of red.
Right. Okay.
ACOFAS. I'm gonna do all of them. Don't worry. Is blue, light blue, right?
Right.
And ACOSIF, as we know, is orange, right?
Right.
So every other book is a shade of red, right?
Right.
And every other book is a shade of blue. So with the red ones, they're not paler, but they're kind of getting paler.
Yeah.
Right? With Akamath and Akafas, they're getting darker.
Yeah.
So if the next book is supposed to be a shade of blue, whose book would that be?
Oh.
Azriel. Whose siphons is blue?
Blue.
Azriel. Whose stone is blue? Gwen. Gwenriel book is next. Because every other book is a shade of red. Every other book is a shade of blue. Or not really a shade of red, but it's a warm color. Every other book is a warm color. Every other book is a cool color. So here's my theory, okay? The next book is going to be Gwenriel's, which is going to be a dark blue for her stone and his siphons.
Okay.
And then the book after that, red, orange, yellow, is going to be yellow for Lucien and Elain, Sunshine, Decor.
Sun.
And then the Mor and Eris novella, since the blues are getting darker, is going to be purple.
Why purple?
For Mor, Night Court.
Oh my God. Is it also, could we also say like girl, boy? Like ACOTAR was Feyre's story. Akamath had more heavily on Rhysand, not really, kind of. ACOWAR, still more Feyre. No, it doesn't really work that way.
No, but
no.
Yeah, like if you look at so I did like a whole not semester, but in school we had like this whole semester on like the color palette and the fucking color theory and whatever. So like the minute I saw that like every other book was a warm color, every other book was a cool color, I was like, Elaine's book would not be a cool color.
No.
It can't be Elaine's. It can't be Elaine's book. It has to be Azriel's book.
But do we?
That's why he got 2 bonus chapters. That's why he got his own POV in ACOSIF. It's Azriel's.
It has to be Azriel. It has to be Azriel.
The next book is a blue book.
It's
why would she break the pattern? Like, if she breaks the fucking pattern, I'm gonna lose my mind. I like details like that literally piss me off. It's like when books are a little bit taller. I'm like, I can't stand it. Don't you dare fucking break the pattern. It's Azriel's book.
But do you want to know something that I was thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you've come up with here with the color theory. I don't know why. I must not have been taught. I'm kind of a color theory, not much. I don't know. But and I was taught color theory, but like not to the same extent. But why was she talking about strangling Ivy in Elaine's book, like right after? Like it sounded like Elaine and her book was like fresh on her mind post like Silver Flames. So like I don't know. I just always assumed it was Elaine's
So she
book.
admitted, which people will never say, but she admitted that was like pregnancy hormones.
What? That she's just like thinking about Elaine like during pregnancy,
Yeah.
not like thinking about writing her book.
I don't know. I didn't see the full interview, but she was like,
Okay.
oh, I was like in the throes of pregnancy and I was just thinking about like I was like writing in the garden. So then like the garden reminded me of Elaine and so that's basically what she said. So everyone's like, she's writing Elaine's book.
Oh, so it was okay.
It was an assumption.
Yeah, that's
huge
what,
ass
yeah.
assumption by
Yeah.
the El Reals, which usually the huge ass assumptions come from El Reals, but
like a whole El Real, like
if there's
army on
one
us.
sector of the fucking fandom that I hate
Don't
more than
say-
Faye Xander.
Don't say it. You stop it right there. Stop it. Don't listen.
Okay, my experience is just that they're like the rudest sector. Like they're just whole other breed. They're like the High Lords. They're a whole other breed.
Wait, they're ruder than the hardcore Phasanders? Are you serious? No, fucking not.
It's crazy. I'm on that Facebook group and they're like I've had to block like 10 El Reels today just because I posted something and like the fucking comments were wild and I was like yeah, they're out of control, man.
Can I just say that like of all of the ship wars, like I actually love the El Real Illusion ship war.
No, it's El Real Gwynriel. That's the ship war.
Yeah, it is the ship war.
Illusion isn't even like a thought in their mind. Like
they're dead in the water.
It's actually very hilarious to me that they are more threatened by Gwen than by Lucian, her actual mate.
I know.
I'm like, that just proves that. See, their biggest argument is like, Gwen was only to help Nesta, and she doesn't have an arc, and she's just done. She was just alone.
No.
I was like, oh, that's why SJM gave her like a fucking paternity question, and her saying, I'm gonna have to get used to getting out of the library, and her and Azriel exchanging charged glances across the fucking training ring. And, his entire bonus chapter ending with her and not with Elaine.
It's true.
Feeling the spark.
It's true.
Which, as I said before, I hate this word now because I say it too many times. Mirror, 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 mirror. Say it a million more times. But the end of the bonus chapter with Azriel, with Azriel and Gwen, as I made the distinction in, I think, our Crescent City video, is the same as with Bryce and Hunt.
It is.
In theirs of CC2. Something sparked and like she held it in her heart for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
A thing of secret lovely beauty. And then she was like, a thing of secret, I don't know, beauty or something. And I was like, and then when she came on that fucking interview and she was like, Bryce and Hunt are mates, I was like,
but I still think when she came on and she said it, it wasn't like I wasn't super convinced.
You weren't super convinced because then she was like, well, if they both survive. It's like,
yeah, she was like really sketchy about it. She was like really like,
but that was her like, I feel like that was her acting. Because like then she's like, if they both survive, as if you're gonna kill your main characters, SJM. Let's not be funny.
Don't speak it into the universe. Look at what she did to Sam Cortland. Like, we love him. He was the most beloved male, and she fucking killed him.
But she didn't write Assassin's Blade first. She wrote it like what, third, fourth?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. So she's never killed off her mains. That's why I'm more concerned for Ruhn, I think.
Than Hunt.
I don't.
I mean, I would agree with that. But I would agree with that. But I also think she's just, I feel like you can't trust anything that comes out of her mouth. Like, I honestly don't even listen to her interviews because I'm like, I can't freaking believe you.
I just thought of something.
What?
And it actually kind of made me scared. So we might have gone over this before. I'm not sure. I don't know whether we were filming when we did, but do you remember when I told you that there was a huge theory that Arabin was actually Sam's biological father?
I do remember this because I've been
because his mother was like his favorite courtesan or whatever, like his favorite like whore, whatever. And like so she entrusted Sam to him to train or whatever when she died by a jealous client. I still think Arabin killed her.
I think Arabin killed her personally myself when I read that. I read that and I was like, a jealous client. The jealous client was Arabin. Hello.
No shit. I feel like she had his kid and he's like, you're not being with anyone else. And like she didn't want him like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I thought the same thing.
And so then Celaena became his, right? He found Celaena and he raised her just like Sam. And I think Sam was his son. And then she chose his son instead of him. So he had his son killed. Like, that's what I think. So, with everyone saying that Einar is sus, we know he also has red hair. We know he's also fairly old.
You think Einar and Arabin could be related?
Not related. I'm thinking more of what if Einar betrays Ruhn for power because he hates him so much. And so Arabin also beat Sam after he beat Celaena, but we already know that Einar abused Ruhn, didn't give a shit, was pissed that he didn't have any firepower. Now, we also know that he has all of those little experiments and the orrery and all of that shit in his office.
Yeah.
I feel like he is the Arabin of Crescent City. I feel like he's a super fucking sus, like gaslighter. And there has to be a reason.
So funny.
Well, there has to be a reason other than just to piss off Bryce that he changed her last name. Just because she like used it to get something, like, oh, I'm the princess of whatever. He's like, you want to use the title? I'm changing your fucking name to my last name. Like, yeah. But he's pissed that Ruhn is his kid.
So I could see it going that way.
Like, I don't know. Like, because you were saying how like, oh, I think Einar and Lauren are gonna go and try to get him out.
I do. That's what I think.
I think he's a part of him staying there. Like, I don't think he will care one bit. I think he'd actually be excited if Ruhn died.
Really? See, I feel like
his focus is going to be getting his heir back, which is Bryce. His focus is going to be Bryce. I don't think he gives two fucking flying fucks about Ruhn at all.
You don't think that we're going to see an Einar redemption? You don't think that we're going to see him?
Oh no. I would go as far as to say that Einar's going to die too.
I think Einar's going to die. I think I agree.
Because if Ruhn doesn't die, the whole prophecy thing, I've said this before, but I think that Bryce is just going to eradicate the whole monarchy.
I know.
And that's why he's the last of his line, because there's no fucking line anymore. Like, everyone's equal. It's going to be like a democracy or whatever.
Or Ruhn is going to, I was going to say, or Einar dies, Ruhn inherits the crown, and Ruhn's like democracy. Like, the problem with that.
See, the question that I had was,
I don't like that.
The question that I had was that, yes, Ruhn is technically the heir, but wasn't Einar giving Bryce his name, technically making her the heir over Ruhn? I feel like that
I
was a
think
stipulation that he failed to tell him. And I think
I-
he probably failed to tell him because Ruhn didn't want the crown anyway. And he's just making him sweat it out.
I think that, like, don't you think he's just like, I think Einar knows. I think Einar knows what's coming. I think he knows he's gonna die soon. I think he knows he's gonna have to fight. I think he knows his time is running out. So he gives Bryce his name because he's like, I'm gonna die. I have 2 heirs. I gotta keep this royal line going. It's a 50-50 shot on who's gonna survive. That's why I think he gave her his name. Because he knows he's like, it's either Bryce or Ruhn, Bryce or Ruhn.
And he doesn't like Ruhn. It's like,
And he doesn't like Ruhn.
Yeah.
But also, like, if he didn't like Ruhn, why not get rid of him? Like, he didn't have to keep him. We don't think he's his actual kid. He
The
hates
long
Lauren.
game. Dude,
Which is
you don't
what?
think that he knew like everything that was going on here? There's a reason he was barely in Crescent City too. I think he's working with the Asteri. I absolutely think he's working with the Asteri.
For what purpose?
Power or a guarantee that he'll live, or they'll
his
make
whole
him into one of
purpose-
them. I don't know.
His whole purpose is to get them home to Prithian. He even sought Bryce out on 2 separate occasions to tell her and encourage her, keep going, keep going. Unless you're saying he encouraged Bryce in order to get her imprisoned by the Asteri, and that's how he's kind of like working with them. Maybe I could see that.
No, I think I don't know. See, I feel like, as with anything, like, he's working with the Asteri, but I do think the Asteri are smart, and we know that usually the big villains are kind of like, they can go back on their word, right? Like Hybern went back on his word to Tamlin. Oh, like how Feyre was like, oh, like they had a bargain, like he wouldn't hurt any of his people. Like, even though she was dumb, and she's like, I think he's gonna hurt his people, and that's why she let him in. But I think that Einar's working with the Asteri for some purpose, whether it be power, to get to Prithian, whatever, because they kind of control the gates, right? They control the gates. I don't think that he knew that they were going to attack Bryce. I think the plan might have been to purposely send her to Prithian. I don't think he knew that Rigelis was going to try to kill her, like what the beef that they have. But I do think that he knew that they were going to grab Ruhn. And I don't think he cares. I think part of the thing was to get rid of my male heir so that Bryce can have the crown. You were the son I was burdened with? Burdened with. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's end on that for tonight.
I still think that he knows that Ruhn isn't really his kid.
Oh, I think he does too. I totally think he does, because like he's just, why abuse him? Why say
Well, I think
the
the abuse
shit that he says?
I think the abuse was part of testing it. Like, if you're even part my kid, you'll have some flame power or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the abuse was, yeah, to get him angry to like do something. Like, let's see what powers you have. Let's see what, and that's why he hates Lauren so much. That's why she doesn't bother anybody, is because there's bad blood. Like, she's like,
us, and that's why she doesn't bother him. She's like, I don't want his eyes on me. Like, look away.
I mean, like, obviously something happened between the 2 of them, right? Like, it's weird that he like still keeps her on his payroll. Like, he pays for everything for her. Like, that's weird to me.
Well, wasn't that their arrangement, that she would bear his heir and she would just have a comfortable life?
But if he knows that's not his heir, why keep paying her? Like, I don't get that. Like, kick her ass out.
It's like the Lucian thing. Like
they can't
as I said, I think it's like the Lucian and Baron thing. Like, I think he has a huge idea that Ruhn isn't his, he literally just can't prove it. He can't prove it. Because how do you prove that? As far as we know, there ain't no DNA test in these Phaelin.
Well, that's where Danica comes in. That's where Danica comes in.
Eris? That's what I said. Yeah.
But then...
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean... Or we're either going to see that, or we're going to see Einar step up as a dad and be like...
No chance. No chance. There was no chance he's turning it around and being a good daddy for Ruhn. Come on.
But there's been like little like shimmers of it for Bryce.
His actual biological child that he knows is his actual biological child. She looks just fucking like him. She looks just like him. Like, there's no chance.
But like, why can't he have like an adopted kid? Like, why not?
Do any of these worlds have adopted kids? Well, technically Selena and Arabin, but he was perving on her, so not really.
That's true.
So he's like, oh, you're mine. Like, gross.
I mean, what would be cool is if like Lauren went to go rescue Ruhn. Like, that'd be freaking awesome. That's what I want to see. I want Lauren out there fighting for her son.
If we don't get at least one little fucking arc of Lauren at some point, anything, whether it her be going to try to save her son or her being Rhys's sister, like, why was she in a bonus chapter?
That's what I'm saying. And also, it's not like it was like a she's not a highly publicized character. People never talk about her.
Because half of them didn't even read that bonus chapter. Half of them don't have that bonus chapter.
Yeah. Why introduce his mom? Tell me that.
In the spring villa. In Five Roses.
Wearing lilac.
The lilac gown.
Offering a plate of fucking citrus. Yeah. Now you can't tell me that Rhys doesn't sit in his goddamn office and eat citrus like Lauren, like, because that's a familial fucking snack like their mother used to give them. God damn.
I want to go back to ACOTAR and see if like Tamlin ever has like fruit. Like didn't they have fruit at one point? I don't know.
I'm sure they did. I don't remember.
But like the citrus trees. But okay, another point about that bonus chapter, like there was no purpose to it. Like, what was the point?
What? That's a great point. What was he goes to his
There's
mom's
no
house.
action. It's literally just a visit. She's literally just pointing out these little fucking details. Like,
it's weird, right?
Why do we care that her air conditioner is broken? Like, why do we care that she's just sitting there sad eating fruit? Why do we care that she's in a lilac dress? Like, why do we care that she looks the same age as Ruhn? Because whatever. Like, what?
That's why do we care that there's no pictures up on the walls? Why? Who cares? What?
It reminded me of like if the first couple chapters of ACOTAR were like a bonus chapter. It was like the forest was a labyrinth of snow and ice. Like, I don't give a flying fuck.
It was really weird.
Like even that built up to her killing Andros. Like, what is the bonus chapter building up to?
It's nobody talks about it. Like,
but you know what I also found interesting that we actually never talked about with this bonus chapter either. Is it doesn't start with his mother, right? So it starts when he's at the frat house, and who comes to visit?
The sister.
The sister.
It's Tristan's little sister.
Tristan's annoying as fuck sister.
Yeah.
Who we also see in the bonus chapter where they're likened to the spring court.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of Sathya? What is the point of Sathya? Why is she so bitchy?
Yeah.
She's giving like little Ianthe vibes to me.
She is. But also, like, weird, we have the Spring Court young Fae and Lauren in the same bonus chapter. So Spring and
Right?
Lauren once again.
But the fact that Sathya doesn't she have dark hair?
I don't remember. I honestly, like, I would have to go.
I'm pretty sure she has dark hair, which is weird because Tristan has like light brown hair. His father has light brown hair. His mom has blonde hair. Why the fuck does Sathya have like black hair? Why? And why is all this talk about like the royal parentage in question? And I don't know. Like, again, just like, what was the point of her showing up and just being a bitch for like 2 pages?
It was weird, right?
So weird. You guys are disgusting, you frat house and all this shit. And like,
I know.
Like yelling at Ruhn.
I know.
It's like, why does she look more like Ruhn than Tristan?
You're not thinking that this could be Ruhn's little sister that was conveniently given away to Tristan's family to raise.
Well, let me look her up real quick because I was getting some weird vibes. Sathya was pure predator at heart. Nothing and no one scared her.
Also, predator, like
predator. Sathya is visiting Ruhn's house to inform her brother and his friends that Cormac Donnell's arrival in Lunathian and his declaration of making Bryce Quinlan his bride. Even though Tristan, Ruhn, and Declan already know this, Sathya wants to discuss this engagement further. She's thrown out by her brother instead. Like, because apparently they thought she had a thing for Cormac, but like, why would she make a trip to a house that she hates and thinks is disgusting to tell them something they already know? Ruhn describes Sathya to have the rotten soul of a reaper and being a professional snob. She appears to be cold and controlled in her manners. She is petite and delicate with silken black hair. Black hair! Due to the wealth of her family, she dresses immaculate and is seen wearing solid sapphire studs in her pointed ears.
She sounds night court.
Yeah. Is she like
What?
I was gonna say, is she like Ruhn's twin?
I literally,
Because like I read that. Like I read the bonus chapter and I read the other one with her, and I was like, her parents have like fucking light ass hair. Why the fuck does she have raven black hair?
but why would they have her?
She's a decade younger than Tristan. So maybe not.
It would have to be like,
I mean, unless Lauren is having like these kids that she's like, because doesn't Ruhn say something like, oh, he's never known his mother to be with anyone but the Autumn King, right?
yeah,
Like,
he like makes a big
wealthy
deal
family could buy another child.
So
if
like
the mother wanted a daughter. Hair color black. Why? It's suspicious. Pure predator. Night court.
she's
I
totally
am a
nice.
demon and a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like fucking Reese.
Cold and calculated and controlled.
Unless I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
See,
Make it make sense.
Unless the whole Lauren being Asriel's whatever, and Ruhn being his brother, and maybe Sathya was, I don't know. Like, I feel like Lauren would be the type to be like, I can't take care of another child. Right?
Yeah.
And like, they said that the Donnells and the Hawthorns have known each other for generations. They would take an unwanted, like, they would pay for an unwanted child.
But like, why split it up? Why split up Ruhn and why keep Ruhn and not keep her? Like, it doesn't.
Well, maybe they're not twins because it says she's a decade younger than Tristan.
Okay,
Aren't they
okay.
the same age? So I'm thinking maybe she had like a secret pregnancy, and she could very well have fucking, like, nobody pays attention to her.
No one cares.
Nobody fucking pays attention to her. If she like called up her Hawthorne contacts and be like, look, I'm in a little predicament. I know you've been wanting another child.
Yes.
Maybe the mother couldn't have another child.
Yeah.
Black
Maybe
hair.
they wanted a girl.
Black hair. Why? There has to be a reason that she described her hair. I could be crazy, but why? The mother has blonde hair, the father has light brown hair, Tristan has light brown hair. She has black hair? How does that make sense?
It doesn't even make any sense.
Genetics. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And the way that she's always on Ruhn's ass. Like, that's not even her brother.
Like I wonder if she's trying to be like, yo, I'm like your sister. Like, I'm here. Like, pay attention to me. Look at me. I need you to let this click. Make it click. Like, I'm here to tell you about
Imagine if
Cormac,
like she found out she was adopted.
Yeah.
And is just like, I don't know.
Yeah. She's trying to get Ruhn to realize that she's his sister, and it's like not clicking with him. She knows. Because why else go tell about Cormac? She's not. She's just trying like to have contact with him. What other time
well,
would
it
she
says
have
that like she like asked for Tristan, but then she was like on Ruhn's ass. And then she was like just like making fun of all of them. Wants to discuss the engagement further. And was it her that said, like, wasn't it Tristan that just kind of guessed that he's like, oh, she wants to marry Cormac because she's jealous because she wants to have status.
Yeah.
And she's mad that he's like, he wants Bryce or whatever. But like, what if she just found out that she's a fucking Donnell?
Yeah.
She's a fucking Donnell. Nobody's looking at these side characters close enough. I'm telling you.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And these bonus chapters, and like, why are they being introduced? Like,
just both of those scenes where the minute that they were like, we already know this, like, why the fuck are you here, Sathya? Also, I didn't look up the meaning of her name. I looked up the meaning of everyone else's name. What is the meaning of her name? I'm gonna be like, name meaning. It means partner / friend. I mean, she's kind of a bitch, so.
Yeah. But like we know, those first appearances usually don't hold up. There's usually reasons for the bitchiness.
Oh, according to people from Malaysia, the name Sathya means truth.
It's coming.
Yeah. Destiny, heart's desire, truth, and personality. And then like the US version is like friend.
Huh. Well,
I mean, Sapphire Stud, that's giving me Asriel though.
Does Az have a little sister?
That's why I'm saying, like, what if Lauren is, but she can't, because, well, he never says his mom's Illyrian. He never mentions his mom by name.
She's in Prithian, so there's no way.
But again, he was visiting her in Rose Hall. He never says she's in Prithian.
How would he be visiting her?
If he's part, like, Valg, Stanley, whatever. Maybe he has access to the gates. They know what I am. Is he a world walker?
That's a very good point. That's a good point. But also,
Five roses, like I pointed out before. Rose Hall.
Rose. But Ruhn doesn't look like Ass. That's the only difference. Ruhn is a twin to Rhysand.
I know. It doesn't say Sathia's eye color. I would be very interested to know, like, why does it not say that? Because it specifically says that the dad and Tristan have green eyes. Technically, SJM retconned this because in Crescent City 1, he had brown eyes.
Yeah.
In Crescent City 2, he had green eyes like his dad. She retconned it. But green eyes, Spring Court. And his mom has blonde hair. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I think she retconned it. From brown to green. From brown to green.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still convinced that his mother is like Tamlin's aunt.
I mean, I
feel like the Spring Court, I don't know. I feel like the Spring Court people have been getting people the hell out of Dodge since the dawn of time.
I think you're right.
Into new worlds, right?
I think you're right.
Lauren.
I like
the Hawthorns and the Donalds go back generations. Like,
well, but also that would explain, like, how would Tamlin know, right? What does Tamlin know? How, and that would explain how he needs to get Lauren the fuck out of there. Is because they done it with his other family members, or I don't know. This isn't the first time they've done it before. Like, clearly.
Yeah.
Shit's been going down.
I told you in the Crescent City episode, like, I 100% believe his father would, like, try to marry off his sister.
Totally.
It's like giving more an heiress. Like, I'm not fucking marrying him. Like, or again, like Lauren, like, I'm gonna kill her if she doesn't, you know,
get her out.
Cold. They're cold. Hard-hearted. Come on. I'm like, she's glaringly giving us Spring Court right now. Green eyes, hard-hearted, cold gazes. And then we just have Sathia flirting with everyone. Black hair, sapphire studs. What? Ain't no fucking way she's a Hawthorne. I'm saying it right here, right now. Sathia is a fucking Donald.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And that didn't even click for me until today.
But you want to know what? You want to know what? She doesn't care about Cormac for romantic purposes. She cares because she's a Donald. And she's trying to get.
And
go
Tristan
talk to
only
Cormac.
fucking was like, oh, you just want to marry him. But like, if she was so into Cormac and getting him away from Bryce, why was she flirting with everyone else at the party? Because he's like, oh, she was already busy like talking to a fey male or whatever. Like, if she was so hung up on Cormac.
She's trying to pump Cormac for info. That's what she's doing. She's like,
and like, why not go after your brother's friends? Like, isn't that a little sister thing to do?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
Like,
it's
I can get Deck because Deck is gay, but Ruhn, you're not going to go after the crown prince of the Valbaran Fae if you want status.
Yeah.
I think we cracked the code.
I
was like, there's Lauren. And then I was thinking, there's a whole like first part of that bonus chapter. And I was like, there was no point of that visit because they already fucking knew. I was like,
why is she going to be important though?
And then I was like, she doesn't look like them, right? I like, we were talking about Lauren and like her black hair. And I was like, I think Sathia has fucking black hair. I did not remember the sapphire studs in her ears. Sapphire?
Just like Reese's mom?
Wait, did Reese's mom?
She had a sapphire ring.
No, she did not.
Did she? Is that not the ring from the Weaver's cottage?
Oh yeah. It was the it's not sapphire. It's lapis lazuli, but it's also blue.
Okay, maybe not.
But wait, was Lauren wearing like any jewelry or whatever? Like, was she wearing anything? I know
No.
we both were like the lilac gown, but like
I don't think she was. No.
Sathya has to be his fucking sister. She figured out she was fucking adopted, I bet. And that was why
So
she
like,
was visiting. Holy shit.
is
Maybe
she
she's
gonna be
trying
the
to figure
one?
out maybe she's trying to figure out like who her bio parents are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, is she gonna be the one that saves Ruhn in the dungeons? Like, is that like,
Can you imagine? Oh my god, especially because Ruhn thinks Bryce is his sister. It's like it's gonna be fucking Sathya that's his bio sister and not Bryce.
but what
The
would the point
pain.
of introducing her Sathya be? Like, why?
I don't know right now because I don't know. But like, what's the
Right?
point? But again, what's the point of her whole portion of the bonus chapter? Like, what's the point with Lauren? Like, there's no fucking way that Ruhn saying how gorgeous his mother is and how like she looks as young as he does. There's no fucking way that you're leaving her alone for however many fucking years, 70 plus years by herself. And she's not hooking up with anybody. Come on. Come on. And her whole song and dance with Ruhn, like, it was an honor, but it was an honor, but it was an honor. And he's like, you never wanted to pull out of that, whatever, but it was an honor. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, Elain and Lady Autumn. like, like, I feel like if, like I said, I think Einar just reminds me of like Baron and Arabin. I feel like they're like the parallel worlds. Like there's a version of them kind of in each world. Sorta. I don't know.
You know what's
I
funny?
feel like if Einar they're still married, right? And she's like, oh, she's never complained about his tryst, his
With
afternoon
Ember,
meetings.
with
Never
Ember.
complained about Ember. There has to be a Helion.
Okay, so hear me out though. Hear me out though. Okay, so we have Lauren.
If she's waiting for Tamlin, Tamlin never shows up. She's fucking
Okay.
has a comfy life because of the Autumn King.
But then we have Ruin, who's an older brother who has silken black hair. Then we have a younger, dark-haired sister. Who is this sounding like to you? So if the whole parallel world theory is true, Lauren is
Reese?
Rhysand's mom. Rune is Rhys. They're identical. And the little sister, Scythia, we never know her name in Akatar. I don't know. I don't know. If they're parallels, then this is the parallel
see,
Night
the
Court
thing
family.
the thing that gets me is this. So we have Lauren, and she's fled the world. She was in love with Tamlin, right?
Right.
He realizes she's pregnant with Rune.
Okay.
Fuck, I need a fallback plan. But I have the gifts of my bloodline, right?
Right.
I'm gonna assume she's a Daemati.
Okay.
Just by her reaction to Rune being a Daemati and like how hush hush it has to be, right?
Right.
I'm gonna assume that she kind of like Maeve inserts herself into the Donnell bloodline. She looks like them.
Yeah.
She has similar powers as them because it's a parallel world, right?
Right.
Makes herself a Donnell. Goes to try to be chosen by the king. The king knows about the Donnell bloodline. Picks her to have his heir, right?
Right.
10 months later, little Ruhn comes. He has a feeling that he's not his, can't prove it. Hence him abusing him, blah, 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 blah. But he can't prove it. He has this whole bargain with her, like, yeah, sure, he'll marry her, but they're not that serious. So she lives in her little spring villa to remind her of Tamlin and all that she lost there. After about a good 30 years, she gets a little bored. After a good 10 years, she gets bored. Because actually, Sathya is only a decade younger than them. Good 10 years. She's like, Tamlin hasn't come for me. The fucking Autumn King has my son. The fuck else is there to do but fuck around?
Yes.
Right? I'm beautiful. Right. Like, Rhys was the most gorgeous male that Feyre had ever seen. Mor was the most gorgeous female that they had ever seen. Which, again, I think Cormac is related to Mor's family, but that's another thing. She's like, I have the looks. I can, nobody's eyes are on me ever. Nobody comes to visit me. My son's still a minor, so he ain't coming by. At this point. Gets pregnant again. She's like, fuck. Now, through her family, she knows they're close with the Hawthorns. She knows that Lady Hawthorn has been trying to have a girl. Realizes her child is a girl. And she's like, if anyone finds out about this fucking pregnancy, I'm going to lose my livelihood. Like, he's going to take the villa away from me. I'm not going to be comfortable anymore. I can't raise a child. Like, she raised Ruhn, but she's like, if this isn't his kid, like, he's going to take everything from me. Has a meeting, secret meeting, with the shady-ass Hawthorns and their hard hearts over there, Spring family, and is like, look, I think I was close with one of your relatives once upon a time, and he sent me to talk to you. And she name drops a couple people, even though she's talking about Tamlin, because she's a Donnell and she has those connections as well to know their names. And she's like, look, I can't have this child or they're going to take my livelihood away from me. I know you've been wanting a child. I will give you my child to raise if you keep this secret.
Yes.
The Hawthorns are like, great. We'll give you some compensation for this, obviously, because you're carrying this child to term. You're giving birth to this child, and then you're giving it up to us. Gives her some money. And then, I don't know, she fucking plants the citrus trees with it or some shit. I don't know.
Yes.
But
I love it.
Einar would totally take her for everything she was worth if she had someone's kid that wasn't his.
Yes.
And they were married. Because he hasn't had any other children. Right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Bryce. Hello.
I know, right? But he's the male. Like, he's the king.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. It depends on what their whole bargain was. Because when Ruhn was just like, why are you still married to him? Like, why didn't you, think better of this or whatever? Like,
yeah,
it was an honor. It was an honor.
Or he promised her he would get her back to Prithian to Tamlin or something. I don't know.
I think Sathya found out she was adopted and is actually Ruhn's younger sister through Lauren. They were in the same bonus chapter and both described with silken black hair. Also, Flynn assumed she was there to talk about Cormac because she wanted Cormac to climb the social ladder and was upset he was engaged to Bryce, Ruhn's not so true younger sister. But I think she was there asking questions because she is a Donnell. She also wore sapphire studs in her ears, which resemble Ruhn and Lauren's eye color. So I think she was sniffing around about her real lineage because she is Ruhn's younger sister and not Tristan's. Also, the way that she insults and nags Ruhn. If she wanted to climb the social ladder, why not go for the crown prince because she is his sister, through his mom. You're telling me that Lauren didn't have any other relations ever? With no eyes ever on her. Sadia is 10 years younger than Tristan, Ruhn, and Deck. There is a reason that Ruhn described his mom, Lauren, as like super beautiful and young looking. So, I think that Lauren got knocked out by another male and realized, shit, if I have a child, that isn't the Autumn King's, he will take everything, including this villa, away from me. I also think that Tristan's mother would have wanted a female child. And maybe she couldn't bear another after 10 years of trying. It's said that it's hard for Fae to conceive. But as we know from Lady Autumn in Prythian, select females conceive easier. Tristan's mom dotes on Sadia and she is clearly the favorite. Because she was chosen, but we know that the Donnells and Hawthorns go back generations. So who else for Lauren to turn to with a child that can't be known? Then another family that hers is close to, who is actively wanting a female child. Nobody would have been paying attention to her, as Ruhn was 10. A minor, and living with Einar at that point, so he couldn't visit. And Einar never visited, so she could have hidden a pregnancy so easily. That is why Sadia has silken black hair like Ruhn and Lauren, while Tristan and his dad have chestnut brown and their mom has blonde. Plus, why else would Lauren always look so sad and thoughtful? Because she had to give up one of her children, her daughter.
Hold on. Okay, hello.
Hello. Let me plug my phone in real quick. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I just we have a lot to say. It's been a couple of days.
Oh, it's been a while. It's always been a while.
It's been a minute.
I made some promises on the Instagram, and I'm not gonna pull an SJM and go back on it. So we're gonna have some general theories and blather today.
And we could talk about Cassian. I'm prepared to talk about Cassian. We had a Cassian chat, and I feel my feelings towards him changing, which is concerning to me.
Yeah, the only thing we have left on the Cassian video is the mate stuff with Nesta, so.
Yeah, I know, and that's gonna get hairy.
That's gonna be our finale, though, so.
I wanted to talk about some of the positive things with Cassian because I think we're all kind of stuck in the negative things, so I had a couple of quotes I wanted to say.
Well, save that for then, because I need more content for this week's episode, and it's already almost Friday. So. Shit.
I know. We've had it's been
it's my fault. I literally passed the fuck out last night. I was not in any state. You can tell the fucking bags under my eyes. I'm still tired. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, I think we both had really busy weeks and where everyone's exhausted and no one's sleeping. It's the holidays and we've all had some heated talks about the ACOTAR multiverse. Ooh, and it's been rough.
Yeah, and then I was just telling Olivia, but my aunt's friend died of cancer, and that's been a thing. And then
horrible.
My sergeant at work, his mother just died, and I have to figure out what to send him because I can't go to the wake, and it's just December is literally the worst.
December.
And tomorrow's my brother's birthday, so I have to go and.
Well, tell him I say happy birthday.
13. He's obnoxious.
What are you gonna do anything for it?
I don't know. I never know. But anyways, there's a couple notes from past episodes that I have again.
Yes.
And there's a couple other things that I thought about during the week that I jotted down. And there are a couple theories from other people that I thought were very interesting that I liked. So
ooh,
we're gonna start.
Excited.
We're gonna start with the one that we almost talked about without recording, which was the whole Aelin, Rowan, Tamlin, Lydia family tree.
Yes.
And as we saw on that post, We knew that Lydia had Rowan's ring when we read
Yeah.
that. Like, we haven't read all of Tog, but like we know some of the basics. We knew that Lydia had Rowan's ring. Fire powers. We were all like, they must be her grandparents on all that stuff, right? But Tamlin has Aelin's ring, which was Feyre's engagement ring that she fucking melted off.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how these Feyre girlies, who are also Aelin girlies, are gonna feel about that.
Yeah. I would love to hear what they have to say about that.
I would love to hear that. I would love
to. Because like we have read some of Tog and like we know Aelin and stuff like that, and so far I like Aelin. So far I don't have an issue with her, but like Feyre melting her ring, I mean,
that is like sacrilege. Like, Tog is people's favorite. Like, Aelin is people's favorite. Like,
everyone talks about what she's the fire breathing bitch queen or whatever. That's her nickname. Everyone she's the
when
best.
she's the bitch queen, everyone loves her.
Yeah.
But when I'm a bitch queen. Anyway.
We're not bitter or anything. It's fine. But I think that's like, it's fascinating to me of how she's going to pull this off. So we have Tamlin with Aelin's ring, Lydia with Rowan's ring. Is Tamlin and Lydia, could they be brother and sister?
Well, Tamlin only had brothers, so maybe cousin. I feel like she overdoes the cousin thing. Everyone's just related by being cousins.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone.
I know.
Everyone
and they all
are
intermarry. Yeah.
Like Tarquin had a million cousins. We have Ruhn and Cormac being cousins. We have Rhys and Moore being cousins. Like, everyone is cousins.
I know.
It's weird. And like, we've gone over how like Aelin and Rowan can't be their parents because of specific things. Like, Lydia's mother shares a mother with Hypaxia. Hypaxia's, completely different
that's
from Lydia. So
always forget that.
Yeah. And like Tamlin's father was like very cruel, and I don't really like, after what Aelin went through and all that, I don't think, so it's complicated to me on the Tamlin side because I don't think Aelin would really raise like a cruel person, especially after what she goes through with the King of Adarlan. So maybe he's connected to her by his mother. Like, we don't know about his mother.
We know nothing about her. All we know is that he loved his mother dearly.
And she was very subservient, which, again, Aelin, though.
I know, unless it was like... Unless it was like her daughter, her great-granddaughter, or something, you know what I mean? Like something like that. The
That's
other
what confuses me. Because the father was the shapeshifter, so it would make more sense to be the father. But if he was that cruel and like he liked slaves, like from Assassin's Blade, we know Selena is like, I'm freeing these slaves. Like, fuck y'all.
And you want to know what's fun? I'm glad that you brought that up because I was just thinking about that today. I was like, throughout Tog and especially Assassin's Blade, there's a lot of emphasis on these slaves, these human slaves. And do you remember, like in ACOTAR,
I was saying, yeah. I was like, Tamlin was always for the humans. He was always not for slaves. He was disgusted by watching his father abuse them as a kid.
So that to me is even more proof of like an Aelin Rowan connection.
But that's what confuses me because the parents are not that.
I know, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, but also
because you would think that his father would be the connection because he's the shapeshifter, but
right.
I mean, his mother could have, like, again, we have no fucking information on the mom.
We have no information on the mom. We do know that Aelin and Rowan had like 5 children, or there was a scene where they had 5 children, so they have a lot of kids to choose from. I know, I'm just trying to figure out how it would piece together, but also and I wonder if we finish Tog, if there's going to be more information about this. The war that Tamlin and Rhys and Mork talk about with the slaves and all that stuff.
Tam was too young to fight in that war. I always think that's fucking hilarious.
He was too young.
So,
and was it a war that Selena, was it her war? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Because there's a war in Tog. I think at least one. I know she fights Erwin.
Yeah. See, all the wars are weird because everyone's like, the first wars are the same war as this one and the other series. But I'm like, is it though? Because it took place like, I don't know, like it took place in Prithian, but then it also took place in Crescent City and it also took place in Tog. So it's like weird.
I know. I'm like, I feel like when they talk about the wars, they are mentioning the same ones though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the Asteri did go through worlds, but I think that they're talking about different wars with the Asteri, like all of their first war with the Asteri. Not the same war, but yeah.
They each planet,
they each
had their
fought
own
the Asteri.
Yeah.
At first, yeah.
I like that because in the end of Crescent City, because I'm slowly finishing up Hosap, I'm actually way farther than I thought I was. They all talk about the Asteri, right? Regionalist is like, we conquered this planet, we did this, so it's their wars.
We went to this. So people will fight with me to the death about this. I still think they caught up with the Tog world.
I'm one of the people that have been fighting with you on it. I can't see Sarah doing that to the Tog world.
Just because I can't let it go how he says that the remaining Fae that were there that had animal forms, they dragged to Crescent City, and that's how they bred the Fae ears out of them, and that's how they turned them against the High Fae in Crescent City, because they didn't remember that they were Fae from the other planet. So that makes me just think like Lysandra, Rowan, all these people with animal forms.
I mean, it breaks my heart because it's like to me, it's like Tog, they're like gods in a way because it's like they came first. But I love all of them, obviously.
Yeah. Because like, why bring up that specific, like the two types of Fae? Has to be Tog and Prithian.
Oh, it's totally Tog.
So,
it's Tog and Prithian, but
he was talking about that specific planet, the remaining people we dragged Midgard.
Did he say Aelia specifically?
No, he doesn't say
no. He just said the
planet that the shifters were from. Yeah.
I mean, I just find that because originally I was like,
also, again, though, if Rowan and Aelin are ancestors, they would be old enough to be dead. Like, all the Tog people would be old enough to be dead if they have all these descendants.
That's true, but I cannot see her.
I can't fathom being dead.
I can't fathom it. I can't see her killing off Elain and Ruhn. Like, I just can't. I mean, I guess with her anything's possible because
I want to bring up 2 points and then I want to bring up something really weird.
And I want to bring something up after that. So go ahead.
Okay, so 1 point going back to the Tamlin thing. At the end of Akasif, I got it a little wrong with the ages. At the end of Akasif, I believe Rhys is 538 and Tamlin is 510. So there's not that many years in between them, which means if Rhys fought in that war, that had to have been the first war he fought in.
He was like 20. Was he like 28 years old? I don't remember.
So they said that. Did they mention Tamlin's age? I don't know why I think he was like 8. I don't know.
No, I feel like he was young. Like I do feel like he was like
8 or something.
Yeah.
So that would. So I'm so bad at math.
I know. I don't know. But I see.
So that's like 20.
Yeah,
that's like 18 years. Yeah. So Rhys would have been like 18 years older than that. So in his 20s, yeah.
Yeah. It would have had to have been his first war because that's super young.
But also he got caught by Amaranth.
That's true. And his dad was teaching him a lesson. And I mean, that would check out because he was young
His
and
dad was like,
stupid.
fine, I'll fucking save you, but you're keeping those arrows in your wings for this many, whatever. Like, oh. And the way that he was like, he told Cass and Az they could not help me. Like,
so cruel. So I know, and that I keep like trying to figure out like who Rhysand's dad is. Like I feel like
who the
we
fuck?
know him.
Yeah. I don't know.
But then in Tog, and I haven't met her yet, but like obviously we know spoilers. So there's the theory of, and I know you have something I want to say, but Minorian, and then there's Maeve. And so we'll have to go back and visit that. But anyways, tell me your other.
I had a little theory about that, which I'll bring up after. But back to the ring, because we said this when we weren't filming. Lucien took the pieces.
Yes. Sneaky little.
Where's this
he's such a sneaky
where's the
little
ring,
fox.
Lucien?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where'd you put it?
But he tends to do that. Lucien tends to like pick up the pieces in the background that like no one's paying attention to.
That was such like a metaphor.
Right?
Like, but where's the ring, Lucien?
But where's Aelin's ring,
Where
Lucien?
is it? Did you fix it? Did you just put the pieces in a little baggie for safekeeping? Like,
But you know what? You know Lucien knows whose ring that is. He knows about Aelin. He has to. Why else would he save that ring? Why else?
I want to know what him and Tamlin truly know about one another.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they kind of told each other stuff, but they didn't tell each other everything.
No. I know they're both keeping secrets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
from each other.
We already know that Tamlin never told him that Eris was the one to say, like, get over to your border, like, anonymously. But you can't tell me that Tamlin's not like, this is fucking Eris's handwriting. Like, come on.
Totally.
You can tell by the tone of the letter that it's Eris. Like, I feel like I would be able to tell by the tone, like, this is fucking Eris.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
which is why I don't blame him for looking at Feyre's fucking chicken scratch and being like, what the fuck? She needs help. It's all scribbles. She's being mind fucked. This girl doesn't know how to write, and he's trying to make her write.
And like it's the same point when you think about it. Like she literally leaves his manor. She doesn't know how to read or write. Then she goes to the night court and
she wrote him a letter. Like he's not supposed to think it's fucking forged.
Okay, but also it was the way she fucking wrote it. It was like, I'm leaving. Don't come looking for me.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. If I read that, I would be like,
what is most definitely not fine.
No, what horse shit is this? Like, she's definitely in danger. I would definitely say that.
On top of like Alice and nobody fucking telling him.
That's what. Okay, he was wronged by everybody around him. First of all, fuck Alice.
Everyone he fucking trusted.
Everyone he trusted. Alice, what the fuck? He brings you into your court.
I went off on Alice.
I pop off on Alice all the time because you want to know what? I was rooting for her in ACOTAR, and that bitch betrayed us, honestly. Yeah. I'm sorry. And then she disappears. She disappears. She comes to the spring court, brings her nephews. Tamlin gets her refuge.
Okay, what? I fucking hope that somehow she was around for that conversation when Tarquin chewed out Feyre and like, fuck, I helped her. Like, bitch.
Yeah.
You got your people killed for helping Feyre get spring people killed. So yeah. Fuck you, Alice.
You owe Tamlin an apology for what you did. And then she lets more come in. It was Alice. It was the guards. It was Lucien. I'm sorry.
Well, to be fair, Mor used her power on the guards.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. She's like, you're glad I didn't kill them. They'll wake up eventually.
Oh, thank you, Mor. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Mor. You're great.
Thanks. What is your fucking power? Like,
she's just
how did you put them asleep with truth?
That's what I mean. It's
You're
like
so sleepy. She's just a hypnotist.
I know.
That's what she is.
She's got like a little thing.
You're so sleepy.
My name is the Morgan. Like, you will listen to what I say, and they're like, oh, okay. So stupid.
Oh my god. But what
swear.
the fuck? I just, where is the ring?
Lucian is such a sneaky
I
little.
love him though. I love that he's sneaky. I don't know. I like it.
And I feel like we see him being sneaky with like the wolf. Is it the Faebane? It was the ring. The ring went missing. The Faebane or whatever. He was like, he went and got the antidote to it, and like nobody knew. And then that's when like Rhys. I think Rhys was pissed. I think he was angry that he pulled one over on him because he thought it was a big secret.
Oh, because he's like, just the whole thing of like Lucian coming to the House of Wind and just,
yeah.
What made me really sad, I know we're getting off topic on Lucian again, but just what made me sad, I don't think I've brought this up before, is like, oh, like how much are the clothes? Like he was like, he has nothing, guys. He's a little rogue floater drifter man. Like he has nothing. He has money, but like that's all he has. All he has is coin. Like everyone, like he doesn't feel like he can trust anyone, and I don't blame him. I mean, look what Feyre did to him in spring. Look how Tamlin, like, obviously he had trauma, but like Tamlin wasn't that great to him under the mountain after, like, which never made sense to me because Tamlin was the one that was forced to lash him. That should have been trauma too.
Wait. What do you mean Tamlin wasn't good to him under the mountain?
No. I said after under the mountain.
After under the mountain.
He wasn't really like listening and all that stuff. Again, trauma. But like the fact that Tamlin was the one that had to lash him and like, I feel like he would have been more gentle with Lucian.
Yeah.
Again, Sarah, what the fuck?
I honestly just feel like Tamlin, he was so beside himself.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you saw my, oh my god, I don't know if you saw my reel. I made like 2 reels based on.
I didn't see your reel.
Under the mountain.
No,
I was so 2. I did a whole rant about Tamlin post Under the Mountain. I did one that was like a couple minutes, and then I did like an 8-minute one on TikTok.
Was it on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay. Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like I never thought of this." And like you have to be thinking of these things. Like put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
I say in my reel, like I put myself in the shoes of every single character, and then I decide like what are their motivations? Like why should they be feeling this way? Like is this really like a necessary thing to do or feel or whatever? And then I take all of their actions and thoughts and everything in the series, and I come up with one conclusion. And it's like, I feel like nobody does that. They're just like, oh, Feyre's point of view, she must be right. No,
I'm the same exact way as you and I always do that with everyone. Like I feel I did that with Azriel too, like with Rhys in that bonus chapter and stuff. But like I will always
like
stand
nobody.
up for Tamlin.
I feel like when it's a specific character's time to get angry, people turn on them, like as if anger isn't a part of everyday life. Like I'll say this all the fucking time, the Azriel bonus chapter. The way that people react to him after that fucking pisses me off. Like
it was misconstrued. The reactions were really bizarre because he didn't do anything wrong. Like he didn't, in my opinion. Nothing.
I'm like, he's talking to someone who's a brother to him, right? So family, right? You're telling me that if just in terms of, relating this to real life, if you had a sister, right? Or a brother, but let's say a sister because we're girls. You had a sister and you had this huge crush on this person, right? And your sister was just like, they're not good for you. 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 Whatever. Fine until you cross the line. Okay. You can say they're not good for me. Is that going to stop me from crushing on them? Probably not. Right. So you have Azriel, who's finally going to kiss his crush.
I know.
And you have Rhys, which his anger, I don't think, Rhys's anger was not as justified as Azriel's to me. And as someone who stands Lucian and wants a Lucian to be the end game, that was still not justified to me.
No.
Azriel, my office now. Like, immediately pulling rank. Not even just like, as we need to talk. Like, come here.
Yes.
My office now. What the fuck? Immediately right off the bat. And then just very abrasive from the second he goes into the office. Anger. So I'm like, you're telling me, like, if your sibling was trying to tell you how to feel about someone and they're like, you're not, if you go near them again, I'm gonna blah, 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 fill in the blanks, whatever. Rhys literally threatens him, pulls rank. Az is pissed. I understand Az being pissed, but I'm like, if that's your sibling and you're in a huge fight, like your emotions are high, you're in a huge fight, you're not going to say shit that you regret. Like, you're not going to say shit that you don't actually mean out of anger.
That's what I mean. Like, totally. You have siblings. I have siblings. That's what a sibling relationship is. It's like, you say things that, like, you regret, you're not thinking about, because it's your sibling. Like, you're going to be honest, you know? And honestly, sometimes it's not even how you really feel.
And not even that, but at one point, like, I always say this, Rhys heavily prefers Cassian, as we know. But just the fact that he doesn't want to stop and think about how Azriel feels at all. Doesn't care how he feels at all.
Yeah.
No regard whatsoever. Like, you aren't going to take in his trauma of being abandoned and left out, knowing that you and Cassian now have mates. You're not going to take into account his trauma of literally being abused. And you're going to threaten him. Like, what?
And it was the second time. That's why I'm convinced that the Azriel book is next, is because it was the second time in that book that Feyre and Rhys put a stop to Az's behavior. Remember the first time when Helion was there and like he was like, I'm gonna go spy, I'm gonna go do my job, and Feyre's like, no, and like puts her arm around his shoulder, and she's like trying to cajole him or console him or whatever.
And he's like, you're wrong. I've been doing my job for 500 years, blah, blah. Yeah, and Rhys is like, you're gonna listen to her. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And they're like walking down the hall, and like Feyre walks with Az and is like trying to calm him down. You know,
I don't mind his rage. That sounds so mad. I don't mind his rage. Like, I don't mind Tamlin's rage either. I feel like they're both very justified. And also, I said this the other day on the group chat, and everyone was like mad at me for it, because I don't see how you can like Tamlin and hate Azriel, and vice versa. They're the same fucking person. The only difference is one is sunshine, one is darkness.
And one's more quiet.
Copy paste.
No, because that's true. Why were people mad about that?
And the other difference is that Tamlin's anger is more explosive and bombastic and outward, and Azriel's is this cold, icy rage, as we see all the time. So it's less noticeable with Azriel.
Yes.
But as we saw, it's there.
Oh,
and I don't blame him whatsoever. Again, I do not ship Aleutian. I don't like Aleutian at all. I don't like a lot of Aleutian fans.
Wait, you don't ship Aleutian?
Oh,
or Elreal.
Okay.
Elreal. I was like, what are you saying right now?
No.
What are you
I don't ship Elreal at all.
Okay.
But like, just I feel like Rhys and Feyre are always taking his choices away from him, which again, Rhys, the High Lord of Choice, taking choices away. How very shocking.
You know what people's counter argument was Well, he was standing up for the mating bond, and he was standing up for mates and stuff like that. And
no,
to a
he was
certain
standing
extent,
up for his own political standing,
yeah.
which was made very clear. If
Really,
Lucien,
you think so?
If Lucien was not friends with every single court, Rhys would never have even allowed him to stay to begin with. He would have thrown him the fuck out on his ass.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah. Why do you think he trapped him in the House of Wind? He trapped him in the House of Wind when he first got there.
Why? So that he can't go anywhere? He didn't trust him.
He didn't trust him. He doesn't trust him, I don't think.
Why would Rhys not trust Lucien, though?
Because he's friends with Tamlin.
Is that what it is?
That's definitely what it is. Remember he yelled at Lucien because he's like, you let her, like, you know, get depressed and like you let her wither away.
Yes, I'm starting to remember this.
I'm like, he let her, like, she's a grown fucking woman who was choosing not to eat.
Yes. But that's the thing, is that it's like everyone else always gets the blame for like Feyre's actions. Have you noticed that? It's like never Feyre's, like Feyre never gets the blame. Ever.
But I feel like also Lucien gets the blame for a lot of shit that's literally not his fault at all.
No, he's like the scapegoat. Him and Tamlin are the entire series scapegoat. And they have been.
And Azriel is the Night Court scapegoat.
He is. Azriel's the Night Court. He is the Night Court scapegoat.
And it's sad.
It's super sad. Like,
but again, I'm not gonna get into this whole thing, but that's exactly why Gwen's gonna be his mate.
Why?
Because look at how both of them were kind of treated in the Night Court.
You think Gwen was treated bad in the Night Court, though?
Not bad, but like all these traumatized people, you're just gonna kind of hide them away in a library.
Yeah, interesting. That's an interesting.
You're not gonna try to. You're not like. Gwen alludes to the fact that there's like a therapist, which in and of itself is weird because can they visit Tamlin? Can they visit Azriel? Are there open sessions? Where is this therapist?
we need the therapist to be traveling. Like Az and Tam needs standing sessions every single week because.
But like the fact that Rhys kind of talks down about Gwen too. Like when he showed up, so everyone's like, oh, he was standing up for her. I'm like, no, he wasn't. So they were literally training, and he turns to Nesta and he's like, you better be treating Gwen nicely. He did, like she's a fucking child.
I remember that.
And mind to mind too. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I know. Well, I think even Cassian was like, why can you never think anything good of Nesta? Like, why can't you think she would genuinely have like a friend?
But see, the connotation with Gwen too, I didn't see it just as like a Nesta jab. Like, clearly he doesn't actually connect with any of these people that he puts in the library, because we see in Nesta and Gwen's first scene, Gwen is fucking hilarious. She's fucking feisty.
She's super feisty.
She's like, why don't people like you or whatever? And Nesta's like, because I don't give a fuck, and like, fuck off. And like, I think she literally says like, fuck off or something. Yeah. And Gwen's like,
it was like, fuck
I
off
like
or
you.
Lost
She's like, I like you.
She's like, ooh, you're good.
You're
like,
fun.
You're really good.
She was like, oh. And then Rhys is just like, you better be kind to Gwen. Like, Gwen can fucking handle herself. Don't worry.
That's interesting to me that you took Rhys's defending Gwen as like a kind of a condescending, like demeaning, like
to
like
both
Gwen's
of them. It just proved that he doesn't take the time to actually connect with his people. Like, as much as he's like, I love my people and I protect the city, and it's like, you don't know them though. Like, they tell you their story, you shove them in the library, done. Yeah. That's his scope of knowing any of the people that he puts in the library. He knows their traumatic backstory, and that's what they are to him, their traumatic backstory. Which is why I'm saying Gwen and Az, because that's exactly what Azriel is to him. He is his trauma. Azriel
Yeah.
has this icy rage, and we don't know a lot about him. And, people are kind of freaked out by him. And we don't know anything about the shadows. And I tried to learn from the brothers by breaking their legs, but they didn't know anything. And he's just very cagey about like anything with trauma, unless it has to do with him and Feyre.
That is such an interesting take. I never thought of it like that, honestly. Because when I thought of it, I was like, oh wow, Reese created a library for all the traumatized people who don't want to like come out, and like they're under, they're in that
No,
library
he
and they're
created a
safe.
pretty little cage to put them in to deal with them.
That's a very interesting take on it.
Which is exactly what Baron did to Gwen's mom by sending her to Sangreva, because she was a fucking half-breed. He doesn't know what to do with those. He doesn't like those. Can't deal with it. Go to the temple.
It's still up for debate if it was Baron who screwed her or if it was Eris, and I don't quite know. Like I wouldn't put it past Baron to have this other secret. Hey, I slept with on the Great Raid or whatever.
No.
You don't think so?
He killed Jasminda for being with Lucian. He doesn't even like Lucian.
No, I know, but like I'm saying, like I could see him being like a double, like having two faces. Like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna kill the lesser Fae, but like me myself, I dabble in that. I don't know. I kind of see it because he's not getting laid with Lady A, right?
Huh?
Like, I mean, him and Lady A aren't doing anything, right?
They have 7 fucking children, dude. What are you talking about? I'm definitely using her up. Come on.
I don't think so. I think it's like
he wanted her for a reason. I don't think he's dabbling. If he's dabbling, it is definitely not with lesser Fae. Definitely not.
I don't know. I mean, have you met?
No, because he's the type of petty where he's like, she went and fucked another High Lord. I'll go fuck another High Fae lady. Like, he's not going to touch a lesser Fae with a 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. Interesting.
Because then what would be the point of killing Jasminda? If he hates Lucian that much and he hates lesser Fae that much and they were just going to fucking elope, why wouldn't he just let them? Bye.
Well, because it's like, haven't you ever met anyone who like they stand against something, but really they're doing it themselves as like they hate themselves and what they're doing. It's so they can't stand that part about them, so they go and they do that to other people.
Yeah, but the whole thing about him ranting about the bloodline and then like I don't know, having them like to him like Lucian was tainted. Yeah. Because he was with Jasminda, and that's why he allowed the brothers to hunt him.
Yeah.
I
do know. I know what you're saying.
Which is very interesting to me because like it's not like Lucian is the one that can get pregnant. It's weird. But that's why he killed Jasminda, I think. I don't know.
I think so too. Or maybe Jasminda was pregnant.
I was gonna say, like, can you imagine?
And that's why, like, this is also hard for Lucian to have a.
We just circled back to Lucian again, but do you know?
Okay, we gotta stop.
Do you know that there's actually a theory that I know it doesn't match up with the timeline, and like they'll admit that, but there's a theory that Gwen is actually Lucian and Jasminda's.
You want to know what? I feel like this is not the first time I've heard that.
But I'm like, was Jasminda a nymph? They didn't say. They just said she was lesser Fae.
Fae.
Right? I don't think he said what type of lesser Fae.
And I find it interesting that he's the one that recognized the Sangreva rug. So like we know Lucian's been there.
But see, that's why I'm convinced that Sangreva's the Autumn Court Temple.
It has to be.
There's actually another theory. There's a theory from Yaz that I want to bring up later, but that's completely different, but it's about Sangreva, and I was like, Oh, it was a very good theory. It was like a really small theory, but I was like, you just like dropped a bomb and was like, I just thought of this, but it's whatever. I'm like, you just dropped a fucking bomb, like a major ass thing that could be completely true. And you're acting like, oh, I just kind of thought of this on a whim and it's just one of my little theories and whatever. I'm like, this could be like your best theory.
I'm so excited to hear this because I'm like,
I
feel like
mentioned
this
it to you before, like lightly, like a little, because I didn't actually have it, but I found it today. So,
oh my God, I'm so excited.
but
I'm
like, yeah, I still believe until proven otherwise that Gwen is Eris's.
I could see that too.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So we might have touched on this before, but I know that Lucian calls Eris a snake, and we know that Eris secretly like looks at Lucian longingly and all of this stuff. But they also call Lucian the Sly Fox, as we've said. So do we actually think that at some point they're getting along somewhere and they just have to keep up their appearances of hatred? Kind of like Eris and Moore.
Absolutely.
You do?
Well, we see it. Eris visited Lucian at the
that was business at the Exiles Manor. That he had to discuss the queens and his soldiers.
Did you read that scene? Because Eris was like sprawled out on a couch in front of a fireplace, and he looked
this dude owns the room. I love him.
Pretty comfortable in the presence of his enemy, and like Lucian also was very relaxed in his chair. No, they are definitely get along quite well, in my opinion.
Oh man,
right? See, like, don't you remember reading that scene? And like the two of them are chilling,
but
like,
I don't think
chilling.
But yeah, it was kind of weird. Everyone's chilling. Everyone's chilling until Cassian's like, but he was just a human, and then Jurian's like, and he's like, fuck.
I know.
Foot and mouth syndrome. So he's like, this is why I'm not a fucking emissary. I can't do this shit.
I love, I still love Cassian. I mean, he fucked up.
Jurian's like, not all humans. And he's like, shit, that's not what I meant. Fuck. And Vassa's like, side eye. No.
I know.
Vassa would totally. Was Vassa there, or was she like cursed at the time? I forget.
No, she was there. They were all there. She was
like side eye. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like 5 of them. It was Cassian, Lucian, Eris, Jurian, and Vassa, and they were all sitting in front of the fireplace in the house. And it was just like it was like they were all hanging out. Like, it was super chill. I distinctly remember that scene because I was like surprised by the interaction between Eris and Lucian. What do you think?
I don't know. I still think there's so much that they just haven't talked about.
Yeah.
I feel like with political stuff, obviously they have to be kind of chill, and I think we're purposely making a point to try to make themselves less threatening to Jurian and Vassa. I think that's what that was.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Because again, Jurian was fucking tortured by Amarantha for 15 years. So someone also brought this up in the chat. They're like, Jurian's like pulling a Feyre on the Fae. They think that he's actively looking to turn them against each other. And that actually carries some weight. Because do you remember how he told them, like, Tamlin's running right back to Highburn to go tell them what happened? Do you remember that?
Did he fuel the fire?
Oh, he did. And then with Tamlin, he was like taunting him about Feyre or whatever. I'm like, he's definitely fueling the fire here. He's a little sneaky sneak.
Jurian the pot stirrer.
Tea stirrer. Yeah. He's a little. Don't you remember when he was like, Tamlin's running right back to the king. He was telling them.
I do, but I
and
didn't.
He was spying with him. He was spying with him and Lucien. And he's like, he's gonna run right back to the king and tell him everything. I'm like, Jurian, what the fuck you doing?
Jurian, you sneaky little shit. Do you remember the scene when he's like, I think Tamlin had left. I think they're at the dining room table. Do you remember this? And Jurian, or like they were out looking at the wall, like looking for the hole in the wall. And Jurian turns to Feyre and he says something to her that was super shitty. Yes.
Hot fucking stirrer.
He said so. I can't remember what he said. But it was, he was like, I know what you're doing. Like, he like,
yes!
he called her
he knew
out
too. I told you. He knew.
And he was like, I think you forget I knew Rhysand, and there's no way he's going to let his mate come back to the court unless he knows what you're going to do. He's like, so I know what you're doing.
I pointed out to the group, I was like, this is exactly fucking why Rhys saw Jurian as the bone carver. Exactly.
Interesting.
Because, again, the fucking weakness. Jurian is the fucking weakness. He's the sickness. He's the blight right now.
And you want to know what?
He is Amarantha-ing their shit.
And you want to know what, though?
And I want him with Vassa so badly, but I also kind of want him to go full villain as a human on the Fae, too.
I would freaking love that. I actually kind of would love that.
I'll rehash it.
I don't care.
I'm a bitch.
I don't
rehash it real quick anyway. There was only a couple things anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, going back to the ring, I'll do the ring first and then I'll rehash all that shit.
I know you're good.
I didn't click record. That was so annoying. I'm sorry. Anyways, I clocked all the times that she brings up the ring, which is again like Lucien's sword.
All the time. A lot.
All the time. I tried not to look at the ring on my finger at that emerald. That was one. And then Ianthe asked, are you at least excited for the wedding? I fiddled with my emerald ring. It'll be the happiest day of my life. Yeah, I'm sure. And then my grip tightened on the leather as I tugged the horse to a stop, and the golden ring on my finger, along with the square-cut emerald glittering atop it, flashed in the sun. Is it a square-cut emerald? Is it really Aelin's ring?
I swear to God, it has to be. Well, let me look.
And again, when she melted it off, it says, I was ensconced in a cocoon of darkness and fire and ice and wind, a cocoon that melted the ring off my finger until the golden ore dripped away into the void, the emerald tumbling after it. But again, the void.
Wait, so the ring didn't go on the ground. It went into the void?
No, it did. Well, she was wrapped in darkness. It just fell into the darkness, which was like the floor.
Okay.
She was just wrapped in darkness and she couldn't see where it fell. But Lucien found it on the floor.
Lucien. Yes. Oh my God. Did you see that someone else put a whole thing on Reddit about Rowan, about connection between Rowan and Aelin's wedding rings and Feyre and Lydia's rings. Other people think that. Shut up.
Everyone's like, oh, was this the thread where they were like, I thought Feyre's ring was blue, like Rhys's mom, because they were playing dumb. Like, no, the Tamlin ring, dude. Not the Rhys ring.
So Rowan's ring is described as the thicker ring held an elegantly cut ruby within the band itself. And Aelin's ring is described as the smaller one, bore a sparkling rectangular emerald mounted atop. The stone was as large as her fingernail.
Square cut emerald, yeah.
Yeah. Then in my reread of Akamat, the engagement ring Tamlin gives Feyre, described on page 10, the golden ring on my finger along with a square cut emerald glittering on top. They aren't the exact descriptions, but maybe there's a connection there. There's totally a connection
there. The way that she kept saying it. The ring. And Lucien's sword. What is with fucking Lucien's sword? That bothers me every day. But anyways.
So I'm just fascinated because technically rectangular, square, maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
Ish. But
Definitely. She melted Aelin's ring. So
That had to be Aelin's ring.
Holy shit. Holy shit. And the fact that like Tamlin and Rhys were friends, and like Tamlin was probably from Aelin's line, and like Rhys as are probably from like the Valg lines. I think that's hilarious.
It cracks me up because it's like, because I just want to know without having to read these books.
I know.
How were they friends? Is Rhys a descendant of Maeve, who is Aelin's
Definitely.
enemy? I don't know.
I will still say that he's a descendant of Maeve and Connell, but I was actually thinking the other day, what if he was a descendant of Maeve and the King of Adarlan? Because the King of Adarlan was kind of evil too.
Oh.
We know that she like knew the king, but apparently they don't go into detail about like her relationships with the king or anything.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Weird, because he is Dorian's father, right? And weren't they saying how like he looks like Dorian or whatever?
Dorian. Yeah, I mean he has that dark hair.
So I don't know. But again, Connell was her sex slave. He also had the dark hair. And Rhys just got Maeve's eyes. So I don't know.
And Maeve's powers.
Yeah.
You want to know what just grinds my gears? is that also these little secret keepers, these gatekeepers of Tog. It's like, just put the spoilers out.
I love how everyone's like the Akatar and Crescent City, blah, blah, and the Tog people are like, shh.
Yes!
Shut the fuck up and tell us. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, the Tog
Be a part of the fandom.
The Tog people, they know all the things. They know all the secrets. And they're but it's like every one of them that reads Tog refuses to fucking tell it.
So I had a thought, which I've kind of had this thought before, but with a little twist. So if you remember when we were talking about Kaltane, how I said like she like got the word key out of her arm and gave it to Aelin, right?
Yeah.
So Cormac had the word mark tattoo on his bicep. Remember? So if that wasn't like a portal to get him out, what if he like had a word key in him?
Oh my god, that's like, oh. And that's why he has the tattoo.
Because why? Why does he have a word key tattoo? Why are there word marks on Lucian's eye? Like, is there one in Lucian's eye? Is that the magic? Is that the magic? Are we all just like, oh, it's his Daycourt powers? No. Is that what lets him see again? Is that the magic in the eye?
You want to know what?
I'm shook.
I'll be so furious at Lucian if that's the case.
No, but I don't think Lucian would even know.
But who would put it there? Nuon?
Nuon. She made it.
Girl. Why would she give that to Lucian?
Because she trusts Lucian.
He's a nobody right now.
Exactly.
I mean, we all know he's a hot. We all know he's.
Nobody's looking too close at him.
At him?
Everyone's like, oh, he's just Tamlin's emissary. Oh, he's just Rhys's emissary. Oh, he's just a rogue. Oh, he doesn't have a court to live in. He's just the drifter.
I mean,
ain't nobody
that
looking
kind
too
of
close.
Mirrors. Is it Elodie?
Elide.
Does it mirror? That kind of mirrors Elide because like Aelin gave her the key.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And there's tinkerers in Tog. Nuon, girl.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, there is. You mentioned like the great big city of like all the people or whatever. And then the guy that was selling spider silk and there's like all these like vendors and stuff.
Oh my god. You want to know why am I having such a hard time with Tog? Like why?
It's because
what?
Sam is our favorite.
It's because like honestly, you can't beat Sam.
You can't. I'm
And
so mad.
I haven't finished it, so I
Yeah.
can't go there yet. But
Yeah.
like why do people not talk about him more? Like, is it because like don't you wonder about that?
Because most of the people didn't read Tog, or they brand it like not important because it was
You
like
mean
a prequel and it came out after some of the other books. So
yeah?
they're like, it's whatever.
I mean, Sam is amazing.
He's
He's like
fucking
such
amazing.
a good kid.
I have to like physically like change Sam in my mind because my brother is 17 and I can't do it.
I literally think
Like,
of
no,
Sam
they were in
like
their 20s.
yeah,
They
they
were
were
they were
absolutely.
they were
And they were
pretending to be 17.
he
Um,
was just perfect.
but yeah, like Cormac with that fucking band of worm, like that always kind of, that's weird. I'll say it. He's not dead. I'll say it again. He's not dead. He's
I don't
using it
know.
to fucking world walk. Come on.
But like it's weird to me that everyone's like he knew he wasn't coming out of that lab. Like he planned his death. Like he
Knew he
knew he
wasn't
was
coming out of that lab because he was planning on using the word key to get to fucking Prithian, because I think he knew what was going to happen with Bryce. And I think that's why he was
why
the
do you
little
think
shadowy
that?
figure in Akathas. Huh?
Why do you think that? Why do you think he knew what was going to happen with Bryce? Because I don't see any indication from like what I've read that he knew.
Because he knows a lot. And he like mentions that he knows a lot. And Ruhn is just never interested because he's like, political
Oh,
shit.
it's Cormac. I
Oh,
hate
it's
Cormac.
political shit. Where's my
Rude.
mirth root?
Uh,
Rude! Pay the fuck attention, bro! Rude! What the fuck? Half your family is there. Shut the fuck up. Like, and again, I told you the last episode, like, Cormac is the one that's like, maybe you have this power, maybe you have this power, maybe you have this power. Like, how does he know about all these? Like, how does he know that she has something of everything? It's not like she told him.
yeah.
Is it because he knows extensive research on Thea? I still think the cover is Bryce. Everyone fights with me about that, but I still think it's Bryce.
I know. I literally was just gonna bring this up right now when you said that. Because you were like, she gets power from everybody. Okay, the horns. She has like devil horns on the cover. It's either Lydia or it's Bryce, and I don't know who it is. I could see it being Bryce.
There's 4 different horns on the cover.
But whose horns are these? The devil horns. Whose? What? Fucking Rhysand.
Fucking Rhysand. Prince of Hell, shit.
I would freak because I was like looking at the cover today and I was like,
if he can hide his wings that well, what the fuck else is he hiding?
And Tamlin's like, I always forget what you are. Tamlin knows some shit.
Which, again, why the fuck wouldn't he just be like, you want to do this, bitch? Like, I got your secrets. Like, but then again, did Rhys take the memories away from him? Because he's super cagey. I feel like he knows that he knows something, but he doesn't know exactly what he knows. And that's part of the frustration.
You know, I was reading over the High Lords meeting again, and like, because I just
favorite thing.
I literally, like, I get so pissed about that shit. Like every, but like it's funny because he literally like lays out exactly what could have everything. So like maybe
he's such an asshole. He's such a dick. Sure, but he's also truthful.
He's totally truthful. He's the only one that speaks truth constantly.
Couldn't be more. Couldn't be more. But going into that again with the shit that we forgot to record, when Rhys is taking Feyre from Mor's arms after Mor got her from Tamlin's manor, she says, Wind tore at me along with ancient darkness. Why? Is it inherited ancient darkness, or is he actually a prince of hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the way that he morphed that deer into meat in Tamlin's manor was even very weird to me. You can take a whole ass fucking dead deer and make it a hot meal with a flick of your wrist.
I don't know. I don't know.
Does that mean you can change yourself too? We know you can summon the wings.
Well, that's what I'm like. Okay, I'm like, how crazy is she gonna get? Is she gonna be like, Rhysand's like, surprise, I'm 15,000 years old and the king of hell? Like, sorry, Feyre, but
well, Hades and Persephone.
I know
from her fucking Pinterest under her Phazand folder.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
are you telling me Feyre would be fucking should be thrilled to be queen of fucking anything? Like, she'd be like, I'll be a queen of hell. Fucking power hungry bitch.
Make me queen of hell, baby.
Make me queen of hell, baby.
He is so. There's.
And again, another thing that I pointed out when she's asking him about her powers from the High Lords, and she says, that shield I once made of hardened wind, which again, she doesn't bring up Tamlin's for some reason, which just happened. Fucking weird. When I once made that shield of hardened wind, who did that come from? And he says, wind, ? The Day Court likely. So the Day Court does have wind, but we've only really seen Tamlin use wind.
Tamlin's the only one that's used wind.
Tamlin used the hardened wind. He used the wind to get them across in Hybern, which is after this, though. And he also used his wind to completely reduce Under the Mountain to rubble with a wave of his hand.
I was gonna say the whole wind theme keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. With Meryl, she's super sus with her wind.
Darkness and all this weird shit.
I would love to see Tamlin have more power than we know. So apparently Rowan has wind power. Did you know that?
Yes. Yes, I did. Sorry. I know I've learned a lot of shit.
Thank you, Melanie. What else do you know that you have not shared? What else? Tell me now.
I don't know, but but the other day I was thinking of the fucking, you brought this up before, and I know we keep going in circles, but the fucking lullaby that Lydia says to Ruhn. And just the fact that it was like, are we going to see that in Tog? And people are just not saying anything.
Because they're sneaky little gatekeepers. That's what it is.
I feel like that's almost, I know that it was like about like a witch or, you know, something like that. And then people going after her. But like, it kind of to me sounded like, I don't know, like the makings or like the backstory of like the Lord of the North.
I thought about that.
But then she was like, oh, it was like a female witch. Or I'm like, so are they just like misgendering the stat? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I know. It's weird to me because she was like, the way she was describing herself too, like she's like this princess in the forest. But
it also reminded me of Tamlin and Feyre in ACOTAR, like how he was the beast and he went to claim her and all of this stuff. But then like but then like the whole thing where like he was gonna kill her and all this stuff for not wanting him or whatever, it was just kind of weird. And then the whole thing with her turning into like a bird. Rowan. Didn't she turn into like an owl, or it was an owl, right?
Yeah.
Rowan's a hawk, owl, I guess. Okay, also
go ahead. And she's a deer shifter. She shifts into a deer in the end.
So the fucking birds. The fucking birds.
How that's
the
constantly
owl in Crescent City. The crow / raven in ACOTAR. and the Hawk and Tog, right? Hawk. That's what Rowan.
Yeah, I
is.
think he's like, yeah.
And Tog, yeah. What's with the fucking birds? Doesn't someone mention that like I don't want to get this wrong, but I thought someone mentioned that like the gods were like bird shifters. Wasn't that the mythology that we read about like the Wild Hunt? How they were bird shifters?
You know what? That was like a little piece
Oh no
of
no
it.
no 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 no! It was Koshi.
It was Koshi.
The husbands were bird shifters. Remember?
I don't remember all of them being bird shifters. I remember one of them.
The husbands were bird shifters because it was the eagle, which was like Lucian for the day court, which is kind of like Helian's bird form. The raven, I think, which was obviously Rhys, and whatever Cassian was. I forget something with wind. I forget.
I don't remember.
Like,
ah,
right?
I swear, if this is all.
I swear to God, Koshi has to be in Hofas.
Unless he's the astronomer, like we talked about.
I definitely, yeah.
There's something I wanted to tell you. Okay, the bog apparently is in Tog.
Really?
The bog of Orid.
Oh yeah, the witches.
The witches in the bog of Orid are fucking in Tog, and nobody told me. And you want to know what?
Well, so I was kind of curious about that when I actually first read about the bog of Orid, because they were like the witches that used to drink blood to keep their youth, and I was like, that reminds me of Manon.
Yes. And
so was it her clan though, or was it the other clan?
I don't.
I think there's.
So what happens is they started, like, one girl slipped up and she said it because this is how all the Tog fandom is. They're super weird. And of course I should have just let her keep talking. I was like, there is a bog in Tog. I was like the bog in Agatar. And then one of the admins of the group was like, you're in trouble. We said no spoilers. Get out of here, Olivia. You're not supposed to be in here.
What the fuck?
And they kicked me out. They were like, you get out of here. And I was like,
what the
fuck? So they wouldn't tell me. They were like, we're not telling you anything else. You have to read it.
But also, I just thought of this little tidbit. Koshi turned Vasa into a bird.
It's all about the birds. It's all about the firebirds.
Firebird, phoenix, hawk, owl. It's like birds and deer. Like, what is the...
Yeah. And it's, it's funny though, is like, I forgot that Lydia turned into all of those things before she hit the ground or whatever. So like that could also explain the cover of Hope Ass, is like Lydia turned into like multiple different things. Unless like Lydia, I don't know. I haven't read anything about the lore of the North, so I don't know anything about him.
You haven't finished Assassin's Blade, have you?
You withheld. You see, this is what I hate you guys. You know what? Fine. Don't say anything. I don't want to know about the lore of the North.
You didn't want spoilers.
You know what? It's fine. Don't tell me.
Well, now I'm gonna tell you because
no,
you asked for it.
Don't tell me.
No, I'm telling you now.
No. I don't want to know. Let me read Assassin's Blade, because my will to finish and read about my love dying.
In Assassin's Blade. The Lord of the North shows up in Assassin's Blade.
Does he really?
He does. It's actually like a really cool but really weird scene. I was like,
don't tell me. I'll read it. So do we know who he is? Like, does he have a name?
I'm still just gonna guess that he is the stag that Tamlin has to sacrifice every year for the fucking calendar.
But like, why is this poor stag being constantly sacrificed every year?
Because he's the same resurrecting himself every fucking year. Like, the Lord of the North is pretty much immortal, right? Forever. He's forever. He's eternal.
He's always
So, like, how many white stags are there for you to sacrifice? It has to be the same fucking stag.
Which is so
And he just
horrendous.
lets himself be a sacrifice. Why? I need to know why.
He has to be punished. He's like being punished for something, right? Is he cursed?
Why by Tamlin? By Aelin's line? Why? Because
Don't say it.
like
Don't.
Aelin's like, you know, the
Don't.
Lord of the North, he'll always lead you home to Terrasen, right? And so, like, he's her symbol. So why? I don't get it. I don't get why Tamlin would have to sacrifice.
That's what I mean. Like,
sacrificing their home, or
I don't know.
me.
It puzzles me. But Terrasen sounds a lot like Spring Court, right?
I know. But it's weird
And
because everyone has been saying, like, oh, the Tog world is the old Midgard. They turned the Tog world into Midgard or whatever. But I'm also seeing more and more of like Tog in Akatar too.
I know. But also the bog people, and also let me just say, because I have not finished, so I don't know what happens to the King of Adarlan, but like it used to be a holy place. They used to go and like let these kings lay and peace or whatever.
Fucking
I mean,
glass castle.
Are we going to be seeing him laid to rest in that bog? I don't know.
I just thought of something.
What? Tell me.
Do you remember what else was in the bog of Orid?
Yes, the mask, the trove.
The skeletons of the old guard.
Shut the fuck
up. That she literally rose up. Remember, like, with their fucking armor or whatever? Skeletons.
I love how you did that. They're fucking
armor. You know, like fucking.
How crazy. Well, say what you're gonna say, because I know where you're going, but go on.
Was it one of Aelin's armies that got killed? Because she had a million armies, right? She had like a ton of armies. They're the
Oh my god.
Terrasen fucking.
So apparently, did you hear about this? When Aelin, apparently there's like a war with Aelin or whatever. She's trying to like claim her stuff back. Yeah. And they're fighting. And then there's water. Did you hear about this? And like a huge wall of water or something like that. Okay. Are those the warriors? Were they just fucking in that water where everyone was buried? Like, I don't know. But like the fact that there's a bog, to me, is like, holy shit.
And didn't Manon help her fight in that war?
I don't know. But like, yeah, like there were a bunch of kings and stuff like that. Like,
did you know that?
Oh my god, were you about to drop on me? I could just see it.
Do you know that one of Aelin's armies was human? They were called rebels. Rebels and rebel sympathizers.
What? So wait, is Cormac related to Aelin?
I don't know, bro. No, I don't know. So I'm pretty sure I was looking it up the other day. I don't know why. But I looked up Vaughn because everyone's like, where the fuck did Vaughn go? He literally just disappeared from the fucking world. Like, he never came back. So Vaughn was his blood oath, maybe? I don't really know. Yeah, blood oath to Maid. So his sole job was to locate and kill Lorcan. He goes to locate and kill Lorcan. He's seen a couple times, and then he just never shows up again. Just
Are you serious?
never shows up to kill Lorcan. And he was under like a blood oath. So someone's like, did he find his mate and like a mate can break a blood oath? Or no one knows where the fuck this dude went. He just everyone's like, Sarah J. Maas just literally forgot about him. Like he's nowhere. He just never pops up again. Vaughn, here we go.
What are his powers?
He is a fae. Osprey of Dorn.
Okay.
He's a fucking bird shifter, bro.
Is he really?
Osprey of Doranel. What the fuck? Vaughn took the blood oath to Maeve before the events of Heir of Fire. In Heir of Fire, he and the rest of the cadre answer Rowan's plea to help defend Mistward. He arrives in his avian form. That's like a bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Though Selena clears a path to Mistward's gates through the Valg's darkness so the cadre can reach the fortress, Vaughn does not pause to look at her or see if she needs help, much to Rowan's ire. Vaughn appears to not be present when Maeve meets with Aelin and Doranel, as no one explicitly mentions him being there, but likely he was somewhere nearby. In Empire Storms, they say that he is in Aurelia to search for Lorcan. He headed north as he could handle the much rougher terrain more easily because of his secondary avian form. In Kingdom of Ash, again, he does not physically make an appearance. However, the characters do wonder what he is up to and whether or not he is staying away on purpose. It was also mentioned that he could be recruited for the court of Terrasen the same way the rest of the cadre were. And then his animal form is a massive osprey with great wings, but he has dark eyes and dark hair. He's literally never seen again. He's like, all right, bet I'm gonna go look for Lorcan. And then he's like, I'm out. Maeve was like, you go do this for me and come back. And he's like, fuck no, I ain't coming back.
I'm out.
That would be like if Rhys didn't go back to Amaranth. He's just like, I'm out. Just never seen again. He just flew away.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Are you serious?
I think hilarious. I love this guy.
So do you think that it's so do you think that was intentional or do you think that was just SJM like me?
But if she's mentioning him in Kingdom of Ash off page, she clearly didn't forget about him. Someone says, who else thinks Vaughn found his mate while roaming the continent and delaying the blood oath to kill Lorcan? Someone's like, no, but seriously, where is this dude? Vaughn sees the battle happening, including Lorcan in the center of it. Vaughn finally swoops down to attack. Oh my god, Vaughn, not now, you idiot. I have sworn an oath to kill you. Could you wait until after the battle for the fate of the world? I have sworn an oath. My god, Vaughn, shut up and start killing Valg.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god. Vaughn finds them in Terrasen, surprised to see his cadre as king, Lord and a moon over there. Vaughn, where are Gabrielle and Connell? Fenrir's an idiot, jumps on him. Moonbeam. Someone goes, Matt should write novellas on the backstories of the cadre members. Someone said, yeah, totally. I feel like Vaughn is just this soft bean, but also like very hardcore. I feel like there should be a follow-up book after Kingdom of Ash. Oh my god, everyone's like,
Well,
seriously,
that's
where the
bizarre.
fuck did this dude go? Another World Walker?
That would be the birds are just all World Walkers.
Yeah.
Well, Elaine is a bird form, right? She's called the Trembling Fawn, but then also an owl, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I can't remember.
I mean, Vaughn kind of looks like Vaughn is like he's a big dude.
He's a big dude, really?
He's very, very, very tall and very muscular, and he has Cassian hair and dark eyes. So I'm like,
he has Cassian hair,
long dark hair and dark eyes.
Is Vaughn
Cassian?
Cassian's dad? Is he Cassian?
No, Cassian's dad was a rapist. Cassian killed him.
That's right.
But seriously, another fucking bird. Bird shit. Can you
You know
imagine if
what?
like, can you imagine if all these little like people in the background that were like, oh, they were like there and then they weren't, or like, oh, they were kind of suspicious, were just all Koshi? All Koshi. Koshi's a shapeshifter, I told you. He could literally astral anywhere in any form.
That would be so crazy and awful
He
at the
could
same
literally
time. Like
be
he would be.
anyone. Or
That worries me. Or what?
what?
Or what?
What if like, what if Koshi has Elaine and he's like pretending to be Elaine? Or someone else, or Azriel, or Cassian.
I would be devastated.
I don't know.
It would
He
be.
can present as anybody. Like literally, like they're like, oh, he's bound to his like, oh, he's bound to his like, yeah, but he has mind powers, astral powers, and shape-shifting powers. He could literally one up even Reese. Come on. And as we know, Reese is terrible at sensing magic. Azriel isn't.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Koshi's like, hey, Az, come here. Right.
Holy
I
Moses.
sensed you were back. Oh, again. In Akamath, when Cassian and Azriel are banging on the door to like get in, Cassian's like, welcome home, bastard. And then Feyre says, followed by the shadowy male voice saying, I sensed you were back. His little sixth sense. That midnight voice with quiet cold licked down my spine. That's Azriel.
I don't know, man, because Adis is described the same way.
I know.
Cold.
This is what confuses me though, because Reese is described as icy cold, icy rage. Azriel is described as icy cold, icy rage. Adis.
But they could all be kind of like, and Az is his distant cousin. So like, what if
I think Az is his
Reese
first cousin.
Reese is the king. Reese is Hades. He's the king of hell.
Apollyon.
And then, yeah. And then Az is the prince of hell. I don't know. Or the Val.
So,
or he's Val.
I had a thought the other day and I forgot to share it with you.
Tell me.
So, do you remember how we were saying that, or at first that we thought that Apollyon was Lanthus because they're both golden skin, golden hair, black eyes, you know, the same kind of person. And then we went into how Reese knows Lanthus is in the prison.
Yeah.
So if Reese can summon his wings and he can like shapeshift technically, he always says Tamlin's the shapeshifter, but he did turn that deer into meat. Like
super easily.
Yeah. So what if like his Prince of Hell form is like that golden skinned, golden haired, dark eyed male?
Interesting theory.
Because he has seen Lanthus. He literally could have just been like, oh, that's what an old god looked like? Let me look like one, right?
He could be like that.
And didn't Apollyon also have mist? Lanthus also was in mist form.
He was in mist form.
Adis was in mist form, right?
Yeah.
Adis had a mist form, Apollyon had a mist form, Lanthus had a mist form.
Oh my gosh.
And why do we think that Reese was so terrified of Nesta? Nesta made the weapons that could kill him. Like Nesta made the weapon that killed Lanthus. Made weapons. Can kill gods.
Was he terrified of her though?
He was terrified during her nightmare when he was like pure death. Because not even the gods are that deathless. I mean, Koshi, because he hid his soul, he was very tricky with it, but
oh my gosh. I'm like,
Rhys was scared of Nesta.
I
Scared of Nesta.
honestly interpreted that scene as like he was scared of Nesta because of like Feyre, like in the baby. That's how I was like, oh, it's because
they
of
were
Feyre.
he was at her room in the House of Wind during
Yeah.
her nightmare. Like Feyre wasn't there.
Yeah. No, I know, but I thought like he was afraid that
Oh.
something would happen.
No,
So
he
I
was
keep
terrified
going
of
back.
Nesta, and the way that he took those swords so easily, and he was like, we shouldn't tell Nesta about them. Why? Why, Rhys? Why, Rhys? Is it because
That's
she would have
fascinating.
fucking ended you?
I was gonna say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nesta would never. She's like, she talks a big game, but
Okay, if Rhys became the king of hell and roped Feyre into hell, you don't think she would go down to the fiery depths of fucking
that's
hell
true.
to
That's
get her
true.
sister back? She was the only one who tried to get her back from Prithian.
That's true.
Not my baby
Huh.
sister. I can be fucking mean to her, but you can't be fucking mean to her. You ain't fucking turning her into the queen of hell, bitch.
Yeah. I love
Ain't
it.
no way.
No way. I do love Nesta. I'm always, you know what, and there's been a lot of like uptick in the Nesta hate lately. And I just don't get it. I mean, she was nasty, but like everyone in that series is nasty.
Yeah.
You know?